Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to Ed Madison Podcast Project number 21. This is number 21, and I have with me today, he came over to hang out. His name is Greg Johnson. Say hello, Greg.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Hey man, good to see him.
You too, bro.
Yep, and knocked over his stuff there. But basically, I asked Greg to come over. I actually haven't seen Greg. We were kind of talking. When was the last time I saw you?
It's actually probably been a couple of years, man.
It's been a couple of years.
Yeah.
It was good to see him though. You know, when I opened the door to let him in, it was kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
Just like, wow, it's been a while. You know, but I asked him over today just to kind of catch up and just talk and BS. And by the way, you can swear if you need to. Bullshit. You know.
Very nice.
Very nice. It's not like age restricted. I mean. Yeah, I don't know. The thing is with like YouTube, which is where this is going to be on.
Right.
I know my kids watch this probably,
Yeah.
and they're 11 and 14, but you know it's nothing too crazy on.
No.
I mean we're fine. A little swearing's okay.
My oldest daughter, she'll be 12 in July, and she has heard pretty much everything anyone could ever hear. Sometimes I'm both proud and ashamed of that. So
That's okay. I feel like you don't want to shelter kids too much.
no.
Right?
The problem you run into though is when they start just splicing it into their daily conversation at home.
Oh no, that's not acceptable.
And it's like we've set some boundaries with our oldest daughter, and you know, if a situation is particularly bad or something just really surprises the hell out of you, okay, we're not going to jump all over you if you say, oh shit, or something like that. But once you start putting that on like Frank's Red Hot, it just goes on everything. That's when Dad turns his head and goes, Rowan, we've had a conversation about this.
Yes.
You need to dial it back.
Well, I just said again. It's like when it starts being at like Frank's Red Hot.
Yeah,
What do you say?
we put that shit on everything.
Okay, yeah, put it on everything. Now it's okay here, but yes, for kids and my boys, you know, I better not hear anything. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Before we get this party completely started, which I'm excited to do, I bought this bottle of scotch for Greg's podcast. In all fairness, I had a podcast in the past where it was gifted to me. The first bottle I had of this, and this is a Highland Park 12. And Andrew Hartfield, if you're watching this, I had a podcast last year with an old coworker of mine who retired. Good for him, by the way.
Right.
And he brought this along and thought it was very fitting for what we were trying to accomplish for that podcast. And he wasn't a Viking or anything like that, but it had something to do with he is from Minnesota and Minnesota Vikings. So it was his fun way of saying, look, I brought something that represented the state indirectly, I guess, if I remember correctly. But the funny thing is, and it's not funny at all, Greg here, it's not Celtic, it's Celtic. He's got a little bit of that in him, and not really maybe physically in him, but he likes to participate in, they're called the Highland Games, right?
That is correct.
So what I'm going to do really quick while I'm opening the bottle, as is tradition on this podcast, a fresh one, I'm going to have Greg kind of say hello again, but also kind of introduce himself and share with whatever you guys he wants to share as I'm prepping these drinks.
So I've been involved with the Celtic Festival and Highland Games of the Quad Cities for almost 10 years at this point. I've been an athlete. I've helped with setup and tear down, stuff like that. But probably the most important thing out of that festival, or that has become the most important thing out of that festival for me, has been the fact that we actually have think of it like a Special Olympics version of Highland Games. This is where we work in conjunction with Arc of the Quad Cities, and we bring in individuals with either physical or developmental disabilities, and we try to tailor Highland Games events to their abilities. I don't want to say we tailor them to their disabilities. We tailor them to their abilities, because it's all about what you're able to do. And we've been doing that for, I think this coming year will be the third or fourth year we've done it. And for the last 2 years, I've helped with actually coaching the athletes for that. By far, one of the most rewarding experiences in my life.
I can imagine. Absolutely. So now I know when you've done this in the past, because Greg, he's been doing this in the past himself. Besides helping coach with this, what are they called again? The special version or special not the. What is the word I'm looking for? I'm trying not to sound insensitive right now, I guess.
One, that scotch is excellent.
Oh, yes. And by the way, cheers. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, brother.
No worries, man. Welcome.
That's good stuff.
Welcome. It's got a little peat to it. Not a lot. Just enough to kind of let you know it's there, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of smoke.
A little bit of smoke.
Kind of lingers on the back end.
Yep.
But it's good stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you like it. So
it's excellent.
We'll have a little bit tonight. So just a little bit. More than a little bit, of course. Anyway, so what is it named again then? So I'm not butchering it.
So the actual big festival itself is the Celtic Festival and Highland Games of the Quad Cities. It's held every year, third weekend in September, Centennial Park in downtown Davenport. Totally free event. We have music. We have obviously the Highland Games, the athletics, sheep herding demonstrations. There's always a group called Belagarth that comes out. They're a foam weapons fighting group. Kids absolutely love that. So if you wanna bring your kids down, that's a great thing for them to do because they will be worn the hell out by the time the day is over. Food, music, Irish dancing, Irish wolfhounds. My wife usually brings at least one of our horses and a few other animals. We kind of have our own little petting zoo. We'll probably have at least 3, maybe 4 blacksmiths down there. I might end up doing some smithing while I'm down there too.
Cool.
It's a little tough after 9 hours of athletic competition, but
Smithing, you're saying?
Yeah. Swinging a hammer gets a little taxing after you've just gotten done throwing a lot of really heavy things.
He throws some heavy shit.
I do.
Remember seeing some of this in the past. I haven't seen it in a long time. But now the special version of this, though, I guess what I was referring to as well. What is that called?
We pretty much just call it Special Highland Games.
Special Highland
so
Games.
We just kind of took that page from Special Olympics and we just refer to it as Special Highland Games. And we actually do have some of our athletes are, legitimate Special Olympics athletes from here in the Quad Cities, or they're in the Quad Cities. I guess I'm in Durant right now. So
yep. Which is right outside the Quad Cities, basically.
But so it's a really great experience. Everyone, it is, there are winners, there is placing. I hate to sound like the person that says not everyone gets a trophy, but not everyone gets a trophy. But we put the emphasis on the experience for our athletes. And as a coach, they actually gave me one of the prize medals last year for coaching, and I was nearly in tears. It was awesome. It was moving.
I can imagine so. Yeah. Seeing all those kids that are in what they're doing and what they're able to do, and then you're that coach, and so it's how.
And these aren't they aren't necessarily kids. We have individuals throwing and doing Highland Games in pretty much the age range from some are teenagers all the way up into, I believe, probably one of our individuals, he's well into middle age.
Is he?
Yeah. But it's completely freaking badass to watch him do it, man.
Yeah.
And we kind of fudge a few of the rules a little bit to try to make things work for them so that everyone can get as much of an experience out of it as they can. We have had individuals that are actually in wheelchairs, and we've found ways to work certain events for them so that they could participate. We try to make it so that everyone that wants to participate can.
That's so
and we'll
cool.
do everything we can to make that happen.
And that's so awesome you guys do this. Now, I'm sure this has been going on way before you got involved with this. I'm assuming, but is it more recent then?
The Special Highland Games is relatively recent.
Okay.
Within like the last probably 3 to 4 years, we've started doing that. Before that, We had just kind of your standard Highland Games, which is, a course of 9 events. Everybody's seen the caber toss, probably. It's where you're throwing a telephone pole, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Nice. Is that like a big javelin or something like that?
no, actually, everybody thinks the first time they see it, they're like, "Oh, how far did they throw it?" It doesn't matter how far they throw it. You're actually throwing it for accuracy. Oh. So you've got the base end of the caber in your hands, and you're actually trying to flip the caber end over end, just one revolution, to try to get the end that you're holding directly across from you. So think of it like the face of a clock. A perfect throw on caber is a 12 o'clock throw, where the end in your hands is now at the far end, perfectly straight away from you.
After it flips over, you're saying you up over the top, right?
Exactly.
Yep.
Basically, what you do is you try to get the flip on it, and the top is gonna hit the ground, or what is the top when you're holding it. It's gonna hit the ground. Hopefully you gave it enough momentum that it's gonna fully tip.
Yeah.
It's a bitch, man.
How much they weigh?
It depends. Honestly, it depends on your weight class. Like I'm for Highland Games, the majority of competitions have gone to a 200-pound cutoff for lightweight. So 200 pounds and under, or just a shade under 200 pounds, that's considered a lightweight. Anyone over that is throwing in either an A, B, C, or an amateur class. There's also a Super A class. Super A's are professionals. These are guys that literally travel the world. They go
throwing shit.
Yeah, they go to Scotland. They go to places like Croatia. They go anywhere there is a huge championship Highland Games festival. Mm-hmm. They're there, and they are making money doing it. But for me, as a lightweight thrower, my average caber, my athletics director is going to kill me because I'm probably going to screw this up. But we always like to say that at a competition, if anyone in the crowd asks, you always add 5 feet to the length and 50 pounds to the weight. So it's totally screwed up my entire concept of how long and how much a caber weighs.
Yeah.
But I want to say, on average, for a guy like me, you're usually looking at about 15 feet and between 75 and 85 pounds. It doesn't sound like a lot of weight. It really doesn't. And if you just pick it up, long ways, it's not a lot of weight. Mm-hmm. But it's when you're trying to balance that thing on one end.
It's awkward, isn't it?
And dig your shoulder into it.
Oh, yeah.
And then try to get your hands underneath the bottom end of it. And then stand up and then walk with it.
Oh,
so that you can, because most judges will say you have to take a minimum of 3 steps to establish direction. So you can't just and muscle it up from a.
I honestly
from
thought that's what it was then. So it's not. You got to walk with that motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've seen guys just straight rip it off the ground and flip it. But most judges, they'll call that a scratch because you have to take for a lot of judges, a minimum of 3 steps to establish direction, and then you're free to toss.
To flip that thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So and that's just one event out of many, though, of course.
Yes. It's a full course of 9 events.
9 events, that's right.
Yeah, and they generally revolve around throwing weights either for distance or height. You have heavy and light Scottish hammer. It's kind of like Olympic hammer, except it's a stationary throw. Like with Olympic hammer, you've got a circle and you can spin inside that circle. With Scottish hammer, you're standing in one spot and the hammer is spinning. So there's like a whole lot of, you kind of got to take your back and just start bending it backwards this way. You find out exactly how flexible you are or are not doing Scottish hammer.
I'm in pain just like watching him with his hands.
And the light hammer is 16 pounds.
And that doesn't sound so bad, right?
It's not.
No.
The light hammers, it's actually pretty fun to throw. And that's for men's, all men's throwing is a 16-pound light hammer.
Yeah.
And then The heavy hammer is 22 pounds.
So another 6 pounds.
Yeah. It's a pig, man. It's an absolute pig. You've got a 22-pound lead weight on the end of about 3.5 feet of PVC piping with athletic tape wrapped around it for a handle. And excuse me, you can't choke up on this thing because that just makes you have less leverage. So less leverage, less speed, less distance on the throw. And you're throwing this thing behind your back. Mm-hmm. You're throwing it over your shoulder behind your back. And the biggest mistake people make when they first start doing it is they want to watch where the hammer goes. So they'll turn their head and their whole body, and the hammer goes way off to the right and gets nothing for distance. So the very first thing we tell people is don't watch the hammer. Just let it go, because that hammer is going to follow the movement of your body. Isn't
there another sport like that too, where it's the similar kind of, it's like a similar kind of thought process? You got to follow through on it and not like. I feel like there's something else.
There
like
probably
that.
is.
Yeah.
This is actually, Highland Games is actually the only sport I actually do. It's actually the only sport I'm at all interested in. Some people, they follow football, they follow basketball, or they follow their favorite player. Me, I'm on YouTube. I'm watching guys like James Graham and stuff like that throwing massive bombs with a 22-pound hammer, or watching guys that are lifting Wallace stones, which can weigh up to 300 pounds.
I say like I know what the hell that is. Yeah, Wallace stones, sure. Yeah. But the nice thing is when I do these podcasts, so I could even if we looked it up like now, or I watch this again when I edit all this, I'd be like, oh yeah, look all that up. And then if there's ever any links too that you want me to like put in the description, and you can always do one of these in the description below. If you want to go there, yeah. So this is so cool because I know nothing about the Celtic Festival.
We're not a Boston basketball team.
I caught myself. God damn it. Celtic Festival in the Highland Games. There's 9 different games.
Yep.
One of them, I want to say like the telephone pole throw. But
that's what most people will just call it. I mean, they'll call it caber, but when someone asks them, well, what's that?
Well, I want to learn this because I think it's kind of interesting stuff, right? So when you said it's open to the public, maybe someday I'll take the kids. It's a family thing.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. It's a family thing.
Absolutely. So there's 9 different ones, and when you're doing this with the special Highland Games, remind me again on which one of those 9 you're doing again? We try to get as many of the individuals to do as many of the events, the tailored events, I should say, as possible, just so that they can get the full experience. Obviously, if someone's wheelchair bound, there's not a whole lot we can do with caber there. Sure. But, we can figure out a workaround for hammer, or like lightweight for distance or heavyweight for distance. I don't think we really do the weight over bar event, because that's an event that can be, caber can be legitimately dangerous if you really bullocks it up, but weight over bar is kind of a dangerous sort of event if you're not completely present in that moment of what you're doing. Basically what you've got is you've got an iron weight, and for me it's a 42-pound iron weight, and you're trying with one arm to toss it up and behind you over a bar. Usually lightweights, I like to start at like 9 feet, because I like to get at least one in. Once you start getting past 9 feet, I'm like, okay, I'll try. Yeah. It's a 42-pound weight you're trying to throw with one arm over a bar. It's fucking hard, man. Oh, it sounds hard, yeah.
That's kind of an event we don't really do. Right. And there's another one. Yeah. It's called sheaf toss, SHEAF. Everyone thinks sheep. That's the first thing they hear is sheep.
Sheaf.
Yes, sheaf.
Sheaf.
It's meant to simulate a sheaf of wheat or hay, and it's done with a pitchfork, a sharp pitchfork, and it is for height. And some of our athletes, they can manage it, and they do it well. Some of them, it's kind of a safety issue. We don't want to, if someone doesn't have the coordination, we don't want to put a sharp instrument in their hand that they could injure themselves with.
Somebody like watching close by, make sure that nothing happens. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Not like anything would happen, I guess, intentionally.
But, oh God, no.
I mean, something like that though. A pitchfork's it's a pitchfork.
Yeah.
There has to be some kind of movie murder in the history of movies where a pitchfork was involved.
Friday the 13th. God, the list probably goes on and on, but
I'm sure.
The one that's immediately coming to mind is Friday the 13th, probably part 2 or 3
of 20.
Yeah, exactly.
People love horror movies, and recently, I'm not trying to get distracted from the Highland Games because I still want to talk more about this, but recently, Avengers Endgame came out.
Right.
So, I was having a conversation with a coworker and just saying that, man, they're really milking this whole, superhero like movie genre thing, which I used to be like pretty cool with, but then it's like the more I watch them, I'm like, yeah, it's cool. But I feel like they're really milking these franchises, including the Marvel ones. And then I know it's good for kids. Kids love it, and my boys love it. My 11 and 14-year-old boys, they love it. But, for me as an adult, I don't know if I'm just getting tired of it. I'm ready to move on. See,
I'm a comic book fanboy. I have been for years. I started collecting comic books when I was 10, and I honestly haven't bought an issue or a trade paperback in probably a decade plus.
Yeah.
But I'm still into it. Like I'll still read up on what the latest, Marvel Comics thing is, what's going on with the X-Men, what's going on with the Avengers, stuff like that in the comic books. Just because it was a really big, important part of my life for a long time.
I respect that.
My comics are still sitting in a locked cabinet at my parents' house in LeClaire.
I still have comics too from when I was that age. And I'm curious then if you were a big comic person growing up. Not as probably you're bigger than I am, it sounds like, because I had some comics, but it wasn't like it was more I wasn't as into that as I was things like, I'm not into sports now like you.
Right.
I'm like you. I don't give two shits about sports.
Right.
Everybody knows that about me, my friends. But the thing is, my kids, I'll go watch and support them.
Oh, yeah.
But back in the day, man, I used to have all kinds of baseball cards and stuff, and I was into it. But that was back in the fucking 90s, too. And I feel like you're fairly close. You're a little bit younger than me.
I will be 38 in November.
Shit, he's a little bit older than me.
You got that right.
So, me being 35, there's no disrespect, my guess in there.
Slancha.
35 I remember in the 90s, so for me, like, sports was, of course,
Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman.
Towards the end, right?
Larry Bird was still in there. Magic Johnson before he got the AIDS, which he apparently, he doesn't have the AIDS anymore.
Well, recently, it's funny, me and my girlfriend Lacey, I had her watch the episode of South Park.
Oh, God.
Where they're like, they could, the Cartman had AIDS, and then he infected Kyle,
Yep.
And then they're like, we got to find, how can we get rid of this? And then like somebody, has, they've lived so long, and it was Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
And Magic's like, I don't know.
I just sleep on all this money.
That's exactly what it was.
And the scientist comes running out. We found the cure. You just need to inject yourself with all your cash. And all these people are like, what the shit? I mean, really, when you have the money to afford the best doctors available, you're gonna live longer.
Fuck yeah, you're gonna live.
I mean,
you got Magic Johnson money?
Yeah.
You living.
You got LA Lakers, runner up to the Chicago Bulls championship money.
With the Magic Johnson, and this is slightly before when I would really been into it with Jordan era, the 90s Bulls and all that kind of stuff, was Magic Johnson really though more of an 80s Lakers dynasty thing?
I mean, he definitely, I would
late
I
80s,
I don't really follow basketball, but I do remember the big names from when I was younger. I mean,
yeah.
I would say, yeah, he built the majority of his legacy probably in the 80s. Same with Jordan. I mean, Jordan...
Late 80s, of course, with Jordan, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But probably, yeah, I'd say 80s well into the 90s.
Right. So the lesson here, children, Is that
Don't get AIDS.
Don't get AIDS, which thankfully that isn't really a thing anymore.
No, people have gotten smarter.
Right. And second of all, if you're going to survive something like that, the pharmaceutical industries have probably, this is conspiracy theory, Ed, which I'm really
tinfoil
not,
hat time.
It's right. Get out your tinfoil hats.
Right?
I need like a transition for this part. And maybe the pharmaceutical companies have a grip on everything and they just want to keep selling that medicine, right? That money, or get that money coming in. They say that with cancer too. They do.
I know they do say that with cancer. Cures don't make money. Treatments do. I'm one of the most cynical people most people have ever met. But I do think that, like the scientists that are out there, they are legitimately looking for a cure.
I believe it.
Pharmaceutical companies, I think once there is a cure, they'll make it a very, very expensive cure.
Well, like that Pharma Bro guy.
Oh God, that douchebag.
Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. A dude who his company comes up with some great, was it a cure or a really good treatment for something?
No, it wasn't even his company. The company already had that. Then he bought out the company, if I remember right.
I don't know.
And then jacked up the price on that drug by like 700%.
And he had a smug fucking smile on his face everywhere he went.
I mean, absolute fucking cunt, man.
No kidding.
I understand a need for profit. I understand a need to make money, but that company was obviously not struggling. I mean, they were making their ends.
Didn't that guy make enough money or something to buy the whole like Wu-Tang Clan?
Yes, he bought the exclusive Wu-Tang Clan. They only made one, and buying it locked you into a contractual agreement to never share it with anyone. You are the only one that could ever listen to this Wu-Tang Clan album for like a certain amount of years.
I mean,
he's in prison now, though.
He is.
I mean, he's in prison for
karma.
Yeah, absolutely karma. Like securities fraud or something like that.
Good.
And some type of insider trading.
Good.
Yeah, absolutely. It's absolute fucking karma.
I felt a little bad when Martha Stewart went to jail for insider trading. I'm waiting for him to say something here. I can see the buildup in his face. He's ready. Can I tell you something really quick?
All right, yeah.
Before you throw Martha under this.
Oh, I'm absolutely not going to throw her under the bus.
I want to say one thing. The bitch knows her patio furniture. My patio furniture out on the back, you can't see it. She knows comfortable cushions. I'm just going to say. Now, whether or not she learned that in prison, how to make comfortable cushions, I'm okay with it.
Right.
But, what she does with her personal time, I really don't care.
Right.
Don't befront me none.
Yeah. My whole thing with that is, okay, yeah, it was insider trading. It's illegal. She did her time. She's done. It's done. She's Martha Stewart. She's Martha fucking Stewart.
That's exactly the right way to look at that bitch too.
Yeah. I mean, if you watch how like culturally relevant she has managed to keep herself.
Yeah.
I mean, she's still on TV. Now she's doing shit with Snoop Dogg. Who?
Oh yeah, I remember. That too,
I can't remember the last time I heard an album come out from him.
He's made enough money. He doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's
Martha Stewart really has too. She wouldn't have, but
at this point, they're both celebrities that are just doing things because they want to.
Exactly.
Which that's kind of laudable. I mean, they've reached the point in their careers professionally where they can be like, you know what, I'm just going to do this because I want to. I think it's fun.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
You know what? To kind of bring that here, tie it in, I am not rich. I have no money, but I will tell you what, I enjoy doing this. And having people over and friends over that I haven't seen in a long time. Finish this off with me.
Here's that.
Okay, so now that I've taken us off the track, so to say, I'm going to refill, and then I'm going to ask you a couple more questions about the Celtic Festival and the Highland Games, where there's 9 different games. And
9 different events. It's actually all kind of considered one game, but there's 9 events within it.
Okay, so and I'm not going to be able to remember all the events.
No, that's cool.
But the questions I have though for you is, when did you start doing this?
I started doing this. Let's see, it's 2019. 8, 9. I started doing this 9 years ago, just on a whim. I had been going to the Quad Cities Highland Games just as a spectator, go there with my buddies, drink all day in a kilt, and somehow managed to get home at the end of the festivities.
I'm going to stop you again then.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to let you keep going at some point. So I'm trying to find the source of this. So you found out about the Highland Games and went with your buddies, wore a kilt because of your heritage? Your buddies were into it and you're like, yeah, this is fun, let's do this? Or what was the reason for that then?
Okay, I first went to the Highland Games just absolutely on a whim. Went by myself and thought it was cool.
In a kilt, though?
First year I went, I did not own a kilt.
So it's not like a heritage thing for you. It's not like are you from that area?
At that point, it wasn't.
Yeah.
In the preceding, or in the 10 years since then, I've actually gone back and I've looked. I've actually done some looking, and the furthest I was able to get back was, I want to say, Kentucky, late 1700s, early 1800s, to a Fraser. Fraser is a Scottish name. It is a Scottish surname. So you go far enough back, and there's some in there. And that was all thanks to my great grandmother. She was the family genealogist for, her side of the family.
Is that how you found out, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was only within probably the last 2 years I found that out. The second year I went to the Highland Games, I actually made a kilt. I actually went out to Joann's or whatever the fabric store is,
sure,
and I bought 9 yards of plaid fabric, and I sat in. At that time, I was still living with my parents. I was at that point I was probably 26, 27,
yeah,
and I sat, in my parents' patio, like putting the pleats in this thing, folding each pleat individually, laying down on it, wrapping a belt around myself, and then throwing the extra over my shoulder. It was as close to like a traditional great kilt as I could get.
So what's a great kilt?
A great kilt is whenever someone says, "Oh, whole 9 yards," that's kind of where it comes from, or at least colloquially, that's where that phrase comes from. You're looking at 9 yards of tartan fabric, plaid, basically. And it's a multi-purpose garment. I mean, obviously it covers your nethers, and
nethers.
Exactly.
Yes.
And it comes up over the shoulder. You can actually take that extra fabric, you can throw it over your head like a hood. If anyone's ever seen Braveheart, which, by the way, the fact that they're wearing kilts in that movie is awful. At that time period, they weren't wearing kilts.
I also had my girlfriend Lacey watch the episode of South Park where he was crazy, and they went to see the Passion of the Christ.
Well, Mel Gibson he's kind of crazy.
Right, yeah.
I'm not going to say he's like completely batshit insane, but he's kind of crazy.
There's something wrong with the guy.
A little bit.
And there's something wrong with all of us, to be honest.
Oh, God, yeah.
For sure. But another great South Park episode. This is 2 South Park episode references now, which is awesome. I'm okay with it, just saying. So, yeah. And I also created the last one here. I shouldn't have brought it up. The Passion of the Christ. We're not branching off there.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
No,
so
no desire to go there.
The Great Kilt.
The Great Kilt, it's like your full-on traditional, formal. Most of the time you see them now, they're formal. They're very formal, very nicely pressed. The pleats are sewn in and all that. There's also, like, you can consider it like a half kilt. It's just the kilted part that goes around your waist. And I've seen people wearing kilts at the same level they wear their jeans at. At that point, you're wearing a skirt.
Yeah.
The perfect height for a kilt. You want the waistband of the kilt like right at your navel, and you want the hem of the kilt to be just above the knee.
That's where it needs to be.
Yeah, exactly. Anything other than that, all right, dude, it's plaid, but you're wearing it like a skirt.
Got to cover.
You're doing it wrong.
The Netherlands.
Yeah, you got to cover the nethers.
The nethers. I'm gonna pick up so many fun
Oh, yeah,
lines.
dude.
Yeah, start talking around the boys like that, and then girlfriend, they'll be like, "What are you talking about?" So if we go back, let's say that, with your ancestry and everything like that, and your grandma or your great grandma, you said, was helping out with that. So do you think we all have a little bit of Highland in us?
At this point, probably. I mean, this America, we're all a bunch of mutts. It's a Heinz 57 party, man.
Exactly.
I mean, most of my ancestors were Scandinavian. A lot of Swedes in there. I mean, my great grandfather, he was first generation U.S. His parents were, off the boat Swedish. That's just on my dad's side. I mean, my mom, I've got some Belgian in there. I've got some English. I mean, everybody's got a little bit of everything. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
It's too freaking complicated to try to pin down. Oh, what are you? What are you? Well, I'm just me.
Right, exactly.
I mean, there are certain parts of my heritage, I guess you could say, that I identify with more.
Yeah.
The Scandinavian and the Celtic parts, for sure. I mean, we have Scotch, we have mead, we have heavy athletic competition. I mean, we built great freaking boats, if you're a Viking fan.
Viking honor.
Right, yeah.
Which, by the way, do you have that box?
I do.
So I got this. Try to get close to the mic here so I can explain. So basically, when I got this, and again, I don't know if I finished that story, but I did a podcast last season.
Is it cool if I?
Absolutely, you're totally fine. So Andrew Hartfield and I did a podcast on the last episode of the first season. He brought this on, and I don't know if we talked about this on the camera earlier, but he mentioned something about the Vikings, Minnesota Vikings. It was this kind of like joke of saying, "I'm going to provide a Scotch, and this is what I'm going to bring." Just ha ha ha, Viking honor. But it ended up having a really cool meaning thing on the back. We ended up finding and enjoying the bottle. I think he ended up buying another bottle after that too. But it's kind of neat where it's talking about the remote island part of Scotland and basically a Viking kingdom.
Yeah.
It's like, but yeah, pretty cool though. It's a nice little blend between. It says aromatic, smoky. How do you pronounce it? Am I that drunk?
Aromatic?
God, I'm fucking drunk already.
Jeez,
aromatic.
Dude.
No, I'm just kidding. Aromatic, smoky peat, and the flavors of sweet heather honey and rich fruit cake. So if you could picture that in your mind right now, we have some Viking honor. That's what it would be.
Let's just do a
little sniffer. And you know what the
best in the nose, like one of the first things you do get that peaty, smoky kind of thing right in the nose.
Yeah.
It's not overpowering.
Just to be fair, these are watered down at this point.
That's true. I mean, we do have the standard one block of ice in there.
You know what we should do? I'm going to have you talk to the camera just for a moment. I don't hardly ever go off camera, but there's something that reminds me of what he's doing that I hardly ever do. So I'll have you do your own. I'm going to have you do a sniff or a nose on that with the ice first.
So with the ice, first thing you do get that peaty, smoky, kind of really good, not quite an Islay Scotch, but definitely a little. It's got a little more than a Spey, but
Spey side.
Yeah.
So the viewers know.
Okay, Spey side.
In case any noobs need to know.
Right.
Just kidding. I'm not that
but
full of myself.
It does have a very pleasant smell. Now on the taste, and this is with ice, so a little bit of watered down.
A little watered.
That's all right. Okay, the smoke, the peaty kind of smokiness, it does hit you in the throat, just kind of like right in the back of the throat, but it's not overpowering. It's not too much. It's actually a really pleasant, smoky experience. Definitely some underlying sweetness.
Was it the honey, right?
I wouldn't quite qualify it as a honey sweetness, but it is a sweetness. And it's good. It's a very pleasant Scotch. This is something, and normally I don't drink Scotch cold.
Oh, you don't? You just
No.
drink it neat.
Yeah, normally I go completely neat or with just a very small shade of water.
Yeah.
Just to kind of open it up a little.
This guy is the real fucking deal, y'all.
I love alcohol.
It's so nice to have somebody who understands this. And we're gonna have. It's funny.
We should talk beer sometime. I mean, I know you don't really drink beer anymore.
I don't, but I appreciate and love it.
We should talk beer sometime, and
we can do both.
Oh yeah. All right. So, but very pleasant cold. Very pleasant cold. Now I'm gonna tuck into this neat. Very nice glasses,
Take
by
a
the
sip
way.
first, or
Hot in the nose. When it's
neat, there's no ice.
When it's neat, hot in the nose. That color though, that color is awesome. I mean, it's just a nice, pretty honey yellow. But definitely hot in the nose.
Yep.
Ooh.
It gives you enough of a kick. And I love the oil.
The legs, yeah.
Yeah, on this one.
It's got some good legs.
It's pretty decent for a Highland, which Highland is one of the three main areas besides Speyside and the Isla.
Yeah.
The Highland area, which is known for some peatiness, but also I feel like this is probably right in there for what they're known for, isn't it? As for, the other ones that are from this area, God, I'm trying to remember what other ones are from this area brand-wise without looking it up.
Yeah, exactly.
If you get a chance to, if you like something that's a little peatier and you're not too into the sweet stuff, the funny thing is most people that first start into this, they would find it easier to drink the Speyside stuff initially.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
yeah, absolutely. Speyside scotches are easy beginner scotches.
All fairness, though, I actually like Speysides, even though I've had the Islas and stuff like that. I found that the peatiness is cool on this one, but for me, the Speyside, the fruitier, the lighter, the sherry, that's more my style.
Oh yeah,
and I found there's no way, and this is some people are real sensitive about this, but I found there's no wrong way to drink. So whatever you like. Well, there could be. You fucking put Pepsi or Coke in your scotch.
God.
I'm going to kick your ass. Anyway, but no, there's no wrong way to do it. You do it however you like to, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I do enjoy Isla scotches. But it's something where I have to be in the mood for an Isla scotch.
It's a trip, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. For something like an Ardbeg or a Lafroig, those are big, bold scotches. Very smoky, very hot, very just in your face. But this is it's much more mild than your average Isla, but it still has a lot of good smoke to it.
It does. Now, I was showing him off camera my modest scotch collection, excuse me, and I do a lot of Speysides, which I showed him, but I have that Peat Week from Balvenie. That is a Speyside traditional brand. So think about the fruitier, lighter, right? But they do this once a year peat version, and it's very close to that, what you'd expect out of a really strong Isla, right?
Right, yeah.
So that's my once a year. I'm going to go ahead and just go deep. I'm going to go Nether's deep.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
and
learning
a
here.
And a good Isla Scotch is definitely a Nether's Deep Scotch. I mean, you gotta be ready for that smoke. You gotta be ready for that burn.
I feel like, and I'm not ready for neat on this anymore because I'm a puss. But I will tell you, the Nether's Deep. I'm gonna start using that, and people are probably not gonna understand what I'm talking about. But that's all right. I don't care. These Glencairns are super awesome. I bought these, and if you want to be a part of this. I'm going to go ahead and offer something to you off camera, date-wise, but we're actually going to get together and have a scotch tasting, actually. Ooh. Me and a group of people, and it's a combination of friends of mine and also Lacey's friends.
All right.
And I bought this super sweet flight holder for 5 of these.
Nice.
It's an old retired oak barrel.
Oh, very
But they
nice.
carved out the spots so you can set them all in a line.
Nice.
And we're gonna do Speyside, Isla, probably do an in-betweener, maybe like this.
Yeah.
Do a bourbon.
Ooh.
And then we're also going to do something of a surprise I'll come up with. Who knows?
Maybe like a sour mash or a rye, maybe.
I have a rye. I actually have a single barrel rye from Mississippi River Distilling, Cody Road.
Yep.
So I figured support local. I don't know if you saw that Cedar Ridge single malt that's in there
did.
too. Yep, from Swisher, Iowa.
Right.
So I've had a couple of their products, and actually on a podcast before here.
Oh.
Got pretty messed up with another singer friend of mine, Mike Oshner from Blackout.
Okay.
We did
Nice.
the first one this year, and I had a 3-pack sampler
Oh God.
of their rye, their single malt, and their bourbon.
You
That
know,
was a good time.
a lot of the, I want to say more regional distilleries.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to push a bourbon. Everyone.
Everyone.
You've got Cat's Eye in Bettendorf.
Mm-hmm.
Their bourbon is young. I mean, it's the best way to describe it. It's a young bourbon.
A lot of bourbons are young.
Well, yeah, but the thing is,
They don't have to be old to be sold as bourbons.
yeah, but you can taste it. You can taste the lack of, I don't know. There's something about an old bourbon, a mature bourbon, we'll say, that gets me more than, oh, this is the latest craft bourbon from blah.
Because it's young.
It's young.
Right.
It's hot.
Yep.
But that's not necessarily what I'm looking for in a bourbon. I'm looking for something smooth. I'm looking for something that when I sip it, it's like, yeah, it's got a little fire on the back end, but it's
hot.
Yeah, a little hot, a little bit of heat, but not something that's gonna make me go woof. Something like that. That's something I'm gonna do in shots.
Yeah, exactly.
But something I want to sit and just sip. It's got to be a mature bourbon. I mean, I'm trying to think of. I don't want to make an ass of myself here and call a different kind of whiskey a bourbon or this, that, or the other. Because,
for instance, go for it.
I mean, whiskey purists they're hardliners, man. Like I'm pretty sure Maker's Mark is a bourbon.
It is.
Okay.
Yep.
That
so if it's
one
made with at least 51% corn, it's going to be a bourbon.
Right.
Yep.
Now, Maker's Mark, that's a mature bourbon. That's something I can just sit and sip on and enjoy. It makes a really, really good Manhattan, and just, it's good. A young bourbon can be good. It can be good, but it depends on what you're doing with it. Are you sitting there sipping on it on the rocks or neat, or are you making a Manhattan with it? If you're making a Manhattan with a young bourbon, you're okay. You're gonna get that bourbon flavor, but it's gonna be in there with the bitters and all that. You know, it's good. But to just sit and sip on a young bourbon, not so much. It doesn't do it for me.
Right.
But I will say that any of the regional, craft distilleries, Blom Brothers Distillery in Galena, their shit is absolutely awesome.
Is it? Yeah.
They do a vodka. It's called Hellfire Vodka. It's a hot pepper vodka. It makes one of the best Bloody Marys I have ever had. Their clear spirits are excellent. I mean, it's people will say you can't screw up a clear spirit. Yes, you can. Anyone that ever drank a handle of Hawkeye when they were in college knows that you can screw up a clear spirit horribly.
Had a conversation about this recently. Do you like diarrhea? That's the one for you.
Exactly.
No, don't do it, kids.
No, don't.
When you're 21, of course.
Yeah, well, yeah. Or find the senior that lives in the dorm room above yours. That's just for the college students, though.
Of course, yes.
Yeah. I mean, college is a time to do stupid shit.
It's funny because, the last time we really hung out on a regular basis, and that would have been, again, how many years ago, you think?
Oh shit, man! Probably
would have been 4 years ago.
Probably about 4, yeah.
4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, back when we were still jamming together, doing the Cognicide thing, man.
Yeah, which was pretty awesome.
It was.
Yeah, I know we've been talking a lot about the Celtic game or Celtic Festival, Highland Games, and all this other stuff, but so like a lot of other people that I've had on the podcast, I know a lot of musicians in the area. And, you know, it's just from playing in bands and stuff like that. And I met Greg through mutual musician friends. And basically, we were in a short-term heavy metal, hard rock kind of cover band.
I would say it more leaned towards hard rock, post-grunge kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, there were a couple of songs that were definitely...
New metal?
New metal. Yeah, a couple of the songs we did definitely fell into the new metal vein. I mean, we were playing Coal Chamber. But at the same...
did. Like
we
Sway.
did. Yeah, we played Sway.
If we take a moment to stop for a second, we were doing a song by Deftones, A Perfect Circle, Hurt. I don't know if you saw that set list sitting behind you there on the wall.
Oh, yeah.
Little 10-ton brick. Working on, we were starting to kind of piece together a Slipknot song.
Slipknot, I think, was Devil and I.
Yes.
Yes.
We were kind of at the early stages. It didn't really pan out too long. We had one gig, and our drummer, great guy, David Delmonico, he just had to move back home.
He was a fabulous drummer, too.
Oh, my God.
I mean...
Never again will we probably find somebody just though that easy to work with. You can put his shit together, make it happen, right?
He was an awesome dude, and he was down. You don't find a lot of drummers that are down to play Tool songs because of the weird fucking time changes and all that shit.
Well, in all fairness, before I met you, you know what I was doing first with him.
Were you doing a Tool tribute band?
Me and Corey and him were doing the Tool
That's
thing.
right,
we
you
were. We
were.
couldn't find a singer.
Oh, shit. Ah.
And then that's when...
Two Ships in the Night.
I know. That's where Darren's like, well, I know this guy.
Right.
And it's like, well, since we can't get anywhere with this,
right
thing... That's where we didn't, we settled, but at the same time, we found a really great singer in him. And
I don't know if I'm great.
Don't downplay this. Give me 1 second to talk. All right. So this guy right here, he can actually sing and scream some good rock, hard metal, or metal vocals too, which is cool. Well, I'll pull up, and I think I did this. So when Darren was on the podcast mid last year,
okay,
and we did pull it up then too.
Right.
It was just kind of fun to look back.
Dude, I haven't seen him in a grip either. I mean, it's been a long fucking time since I kind of started doing a little bit of a thing with one of our mutual friends, Brandon from Muscatine.
Sure.
And it didn't really pan out. He
was on the podcast last year too.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
But it was definitely a more heavy metal kind of thing.
Sure.
It didn't really flesh out the way we thought it was going to, and that's cool. That shit happens. But
now, you were in not to change gears, but while I'm thinking about it, you were in an original band called Nile Seraph for a bit?
No, at the time that I was in the band was called Thought Fracture.
But it was the same guys.
Yes, it was the same guys from Nile Seraph, with the exception of, I think I was the only one that was not an original member of Nile Seraph.
Was it Josh Fox or Ethan Burns?
When we started off, it was Josh Fox.
Okay.
Good old Foxy.
Yep.
And then Ray Ramirez came in.
Okay, I don't know him.
Okay. Absolutely badass fucking drummer. Dude has my total absolute respect for being able to fucking drum. And he was, for a little bit, he was drumming with a gimpy fucking ankle and shit like that. I mean, badass drummer, nice guy. But it was me, Steve Fuller, James Miller, and Josh Fox when they sent me a message. Actually, no, it wasn't even them that sent me a message. It was a dude named Jay Noah, who I believe is from Muscatine, books shows, stuff like that. Sent me a message, said he saw what I did on YouTube or some shit.
The video I put together, we're about ready to look at.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
And he said, there's a band, they're looking for a lead vocalist. And I'm like, all right, I'll I'll try it out. And it was good. I mean, it was good for a while. I mean, they definitely had some good songs. The vocalist prior to me, I'm not a guy that likes to talk shit about other musicians.
The Nile Seraph guy, right?
Yeah.
I know who it is. I think everybody knows who it is if you know the band. So,
all right, the dude called himself Loki.
Yep.
I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, I went through a phase when I was with another band where I had a stage name and it was Soren. Okay, fine. But eventually just stand on your own.
Right.
Stage names are bullshit unless you're like Kiss, because none of those guys are going by their real fucking names.
Nope. Not so much. So I guess the funny thing is that I was bummed when we couldn't make this work, but at the same time, playing in a band with Darren was making me be a real alcoholic. And I joke, but at the same time, when Darren was on, I told him the same thing. So it worked out for the best. But the thing is that it was a lot of fun when we did this.
Oh, absolutely.
And what I've done, Air,
is this another show I'm playing in a kilt?
It is.
Oh my God, it is. Yes.
It is. It really is. So what I'm going to do really quick here, as I'm prepping here.
You know, I'm actually surprised that YouTube's algorithms haven't like muted the video because they're cover songs.
They will, I'm sure. But here's the thing: these aren't monetized.
Oh, there we go. And technically, I think it falls under fair use since it's being played live at a venue.
Goddamn right it does.
There we go. A little bit of copyright.
Let's see if it'll play.
All right, yeah.
Up there. Hold on. Here we go. So this is Greg Johnson in the kilt, me in the on the right hand side.
Our buddy Corey Stockstill right there playing bass in the Tool t-shirt.
Which I did ask him to be on the podcast.
Oh.
But he has not accepted, which is fine. Give me 1 second.
You got David right there looking like a badass playing the drums. Shit.
I know. I'm trying to figure out, so give me a second. Casts. We're going to go desktop. I'm trying to get the audio to work now too. You know what? It's going to be a pain. Let me just restart that.
Of course it is.
Of course it is. I've got this.
The wonders of modern technology that never fucking work.
I know. It's supposed to be playing right now through the speakers, but it isn't.
Right.
So I'm gonna try. It's we've got video, but there is no audio right now. Again, these cameras. That's the cameras I was using to record this.
That's pretty good footage, man.
I know.
The resolution is nice.
Back in the day, these cameras were pretty nice, but it's...
All right, I know I just said I don't usually talk shit about musicians, but the chick with the blue hair right there, oh my fucking God.
That was your buddy Brandon's band
Yeah,
singer,
I know.
So.
And the thing is, I have so much love for Brandon.
He's our buddy. I'm just kidding.
And
He's our buddy.
I have so much love for Brandon and his son, Maddie. They're both playing with the band that blue-haired thing with the tattoo on her face is in.
The blue-haired thing,
but,
know.
You know, I played with another band up in the Quad Cities in the Clinton area. Heavy metal band, all original. It was kind of like industrial metal.
Yeah.
Band was called Lethal Injection, and
oh yeah.
When you play out of the Clinton area, you end up playing with certain bands, and you end up playing certain venues. I honestly never had a problem with any of the venues up there, but some of the bands that we played with, one in particular that I will... Oh!
Well, sorry.
We've got audio.
I got it finally going, but one of the bands you played with?
One of the bands we played with that I will at least extend the professional courtesy of not actually mentioning by name. The name is visible on the black t-shirt in the video.
Oh,
just
good
saying.
To know. Good to know. So we're about ready to see this go down right now.
Yeah. I just can't say anything nice about them. So I'm gonna say nothing at all. But I will leave it at I can't say nothing. I can't say anything nice about them. And
experience though? Gained experience maybe?
Oh, definitely gained experience. I mean, I learned who I don't want to book a show with. I learned who I might end up losing equipment to.
Oh,
that was
losing equipment to never sounds like a good thing.
Yeah. And I don't think that individual that was suspected is a member of that band that I'm not going to mention the name of anymore. But when I was with Lethal, we stopped booking shows with them intentionally. We flat out said we will not book a show with them.
Because of all that, yeah.
And that is the only band Lethal Injection ever said we will not book a show with them.
How about this? You've got Google Skills, YouTube. If you're watching, you can check out the video and decide for yourself what shirt he's wearing if you can Google it.
Right.
So basically, again, nobody was really doing anything like this at the time, and I don't even think anybody still does anything like this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I really don't think anybody does.
No, probably not.
No.
I mean, I don't. What do we got here?
In waves, it sounds like.
Oh shit, Trivium.
A little bit of a delay between the audio and the video.
Oh yeah, you get that.
Is that Maddie down there in the hat? No, that wasn't Maddie. No, never mind.
No, that's not Maddie. Maddie's a suave motherfucker.
Swab, motherfucker. Look at that motherfucker wearing that kill. Like a motherfucking rock star. Showing up at the last minute after the Highland Games.
Absolutely. Showed up. That was the second year in a row playing that show with two different bands.
Yeah, and then wearing the kilt.
Surprisingly, both with Darren Peterson in the same band. I show up to that show wearing my kilt. Oh, is this that cover of Sail?
Yes.
I got to admit, I hate that Devil Driver cover of that song.
Do you really?
Yeah, I can't stand it.
Even though it's the Cold Chamber singer?
No, Cold Chamber was good.
But the same singer, though,
Devil
right?
Driver covering that song just didn't work for me, brother.
Yeah, that's fine. You know, one thing we learned in bands, you can never be 100% happy with every song.
Oh,
you
hell
play,
no.
But
absolutely not. Now,
I mean,
Power Man 5000, this is my fucking jam right here.
Yeah, buddy. I remember this.
I am still a huge fan of Power Man 5000. Spider One holds down some wicked fucking vocals.
Yes.
And I've seen those guys, and I saw them.
Little Stone Sour.
Yeah, a little Stone Sour. But I saw Power Man 5000 at QC Live in Davenport.
Did you? What year was that?
Small venue.
Yeah, but what year was that?
Had to have been 2006, 2007 maybe. And the thing is, like, everyone remembers Power Man 5000. They had these huge stage shows with all the sci-fi lights and costumes and shit like that. The coolest thing was the fact that they came out and they were just a band. I mean, they were just a band on a stage.
But they had all that extra shit going on.
No,
to kind of amp
they
it
didn't
up.
have any of that shit going on.
Oh, they didn't have any of that.
It was the most stripped down fucking show I have ever seen. Outside of, like, you know, a local band. I mean, they were playing in the same way that, like, I would have played a show with Lethal Injection, or would have played a show with Cognicide, or would have played a show with Grace 7, or would have played a show with fucking Thought Fracture. I mean, they came out
simple hard rock like this. What we're
exactly.
doing. But the thing is like we're watching this and you're like tearing this shit up too. Can you be honest? The 2 years you played at this event, which was the better gig? What was the better?
The Cognicide gig.
Fucking right, it was.
I mean,
man.
we fucking killed this shit.
That was awesome. I mean that was the best like hard rock hour ever in the Quad Cities.
Absolutely.
Probably for covers.
Yeah, for covers. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like hearing you in the last song, the 10-ton brick, where you're like doing the screaming, it was awesome. Yeah.
That I will say, as a vocalist, that is like one of the strengths I think I've tried to play up and tried to utilize, is the fact that I can hit that growl. Yes. I can hit the growl, but at the same time, and I know that growl kind of probably really sounded like shit.
No, it didn't. I'm not even gonna edit that. I'm just gonna let it
ride. All right. But at the same time, I'm I've got the ability to sing cleanly.
Yes.
And it's being able to blend that and do that together and then try to transition from one to the other.
So we got some cold chamber sway going on right now where you, and
oh,
then
God,
back to the...
Now it's done. You said no, you're never gonna say it again. In your own special way, you tear me down. Sway, so hypnotic, sway, so hypnotic, sway. Oh my God. And this is, I mean, Coal Chamber, that is music straight out of high school for me. I mean, that's...
But you know what, though? It's timeless metal and, you know, that new metal, hard rock stuff that was around that time.
Now, actually, this is probably one of my favorite songs that we played.
The
fucking
Praise.
Seven Dust.
Praise, yeah.
Seven Dust, by far, one of my favorite bands to come out of the 90s into the 2000s. I mean, and they're still out there doing it.
They got some good songs.
And the
Even
thing
newer
is,
ones, yeah.
like, they're... A lot of the guys, or at least several of the guys from Seven Dust, they work with a couple of local Quad Cities musicians. They work with Three Years Hollow.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're absolutely fucking awesome.
Yes,
Lejean's vocals.
There he is. Lejean.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Lejean's vocals are fucking killer, man. He's got this perfect mix of like, I hate to say it because it sounds bad, but like that kind of voice only a soulful black man can have. I mean,
yes, for sure.
It's like John Lee Hooker and Ray Charles and all sorts of good fucking shit in that voice.
Right.
I mean, Lejean has one of the best voices out there in heavy metal. And probably right behind him, and it's a very, very close right behind him for me, Corey Taylor.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I gotta give
Stone Sour. Yeah,
I gotta give some love to the Iowa boy.
Fuck yeah,
I mean,
you do.
born and raised
He's
in
awesome.
Iowa, me.
I've seen Slipknot. I've seen Corey Taylor live solo acoustic at Ripco. That was awesome.
Next time he comes through, I gotta go to that show.
You want to go with me?
Absolutely.
I went the first time. It was awesome.
I would love to go to that
Corey
show.
motherfucking Taylor. That's his solo show. Yeah.
But I mean, for me, the two best vocalists in heavy metal right now that are able to transition between a just hard, guttural, murderous kind of shit thing, and clean, soulful vocals.
That's hard to do.
Oh, absolutely.
Who in your mind?
Lejean
From Seven Dust.
Yep. And Corey Taylor
From Stone
Sour and Slipknot.
Yes,
absolutely.
Did you like the news, the All Out Life Slipknot single they released leading up to this new album?
Honestly, I haven't heard it yet.
Oh my god,
dude! I'm so far behind on pretty much everything in the world.
This is how long it's been since we hung out. Last time, the last time we were hanging out, the last Slipknot album came out. The new singles were coming out.
Yeah, I know. But by far, those two have the best voices.
Yes.
In my personal opinion.
Yes.
Other opinions may vary.
I'm with you.
They have two of the best voices in heavy metal right now.
Corey Taylor, for me, at least one of those two. I like Lejean too. I'm trying to think. The problem with me is I've reached the point where I'm more on just the screaming side of things. So I'm a Randall Blythe fan through and through. Recently discovered them in the past 5 years and just nothing but love for Lamb of God is what I'm saying.
Oh, Lamb of God is awesome.
But that's Randall Blythe. And that's the very few clean vocals. That's all.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's when I saw Slipknot 4 years ago, the poster on the wall behind me.
Was it Slipknot with Korn at the Mark?
No, I went to Chicago.
Oh, you went to Chicago?
I got VIP for Slipknot, and we saw that day it was Bullet for My Valentine, which we did Your Betrayal.
Right, yeah.
Cognizide. Yep. And then it was before Bullet for My Valentine, it was Motionless in White.
Never heard of them.
Bullet for My Valentine. They had a few modern rock radio hits, and then not hits but songs, and then Lamb of God and Slipknot, and it was the first time I saw both Slipknot and Lamb of God. And Slipknot, of course, has the stage that's all set up and all the pyro and all
the thing is though, the music was there.
It was there.
The stage show. the stage show for a Slipknot show is impressive.
An extra treat, but
it's
on top
absolutely
of it,
impressive.
That was, and keep in mind, Joey Jordison.
The stage show could have been nothing. It could have been nothing. When I saw him at the Mark, iWireless Center, Tax Slayer Center, whatever the fuck you want to call it now.
What year would it have been, though?
I saw them 2 years ago. They played with Korn.
Okay, so that would have been the new drummer still. That was that was after I saw him here in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
With this poster.
The thing is, the stage show could have been absolute shit. I mean, they could have done nothing.
You're kind of limited there at the Tax Slayer Center, too, though.
Well, yeah, it's true. But the thing is, they could have been a band, a big-ass band, on a stage with all their instruments, mic'd up to the house PA and all that shit. I still would have paid to see that show.
I would have, too.
Because they were absolutely awesome.
I couldn't go to that one. I know. I remember what you're talking about, though.
They personally, not their stage show, but their show itself, their musicality, the way they put their songs together, the way Corey Taylor does his vocals is absolutely stunning every fucking time.
He's an impressive son of a bitch.
He is. Hashtag Corey Taylor.
In the description.
Right. But, I mean, it was an absolutely stunning show.
Yeah.
Corey was fucking on point. All of the musicians in the band were fucking on point, man. It was a great show. And like I said, I would have seen them in a garage.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how good they were.
Oh, for
that's
sure.
how well they played.
When I saw them, too, it didn't matter if it was a great stage show. They were on point. It was awesome. Now,
Right.
It was cool to see. I said Joey.
I mean, the stage show is cool.
It was, but at the same time, so the big thing when I saw them play live, they hadn't been playing very long with Jay Weinberg, who replaced Joey Jordison at
Right.
that point. So I think that was about the time that everybody's like, "Who's this new drummer? Is it Jay Weinberg? Is it Max Weinberg's son from Bruce Springsteen?"
Right,
And,
yeah. The E Street Band.
Yeah, and all that, And did you hear the story behind Jay Weinberg too? By the way, kind of fun if you got a moment. I just want to go over this. So basically,
I have plenty of moments.
So Jay Weinberg is Max Weinberg's son from Conan O'Brien's his drummer.
Well, I mean, he's not just from the Conan O'Brien show. I mean, he's from the fucking E Street Band.
Which I mentioned first, in all fairness.
All right, fine.
I did mention first, didn't I?
You did.
So the thing is his son took after his dad, and Max got him to meet Slipknot when he was a fucking kid, when he was learning to play drums. Because, he's not following his dad's footsteps completely. Bruce Springsteen.
Music evolves.
He's cool, but you know what? It's like I wouldn't expect my kids to absolutely love everything that I want. I would expect them to like the next thing, right?
Right.
So he took his son to Slipknot, and then wouldn't you fucking know it? Decades later, 2 decades later, or whatever.
Yeah.
All of a sudden now he's the new mystery drummer for Slipknot, replacing Joey Jordison. Joey motherfucking Jordison, by the way, who's phenomenal drummer in his own right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but this guy, when we saw him at this was about that time. It was like, is this the guy, right?
Right.
Nobody knew. I mean, we knew because of I think there was also the bass player that replaced Chad Gray.
Paul
Gray. And they're like, oh yeah,
well,
we know it's him because of the tattoos, the new guy, and all this kind of stuff.
The thing is, everybody's like, yes, everybody knew they were going to replace Paul Gray. He unfortunately died tragically.
Yes. Rest in peace.
But, everybody knew they were going to replace Paul Gray. Nobody kind of really wanted them to, but it's one of those things that happens if you're in a working band.
Yeah.
Which Slipknot is. Slipknot has always been a working band. They're constantly on tour. They're constantly in the studio. They're putting out albums. They're doing festivals. They're doing shows. So if they want to maintain that, they do have to replace, Paul Gray.
As much as
Paul Gray was an incredible bassist, and he was a longtime friend to all the members of that band.
And writer of music early on, too. And that's
why,
songs that, Corey wrote, like Snuff and stuff about, him and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. When I saw him solo acoustic at Ribco, it was pretty emotional because he did Snuff acoustically by himself, and everybody knew it was for him, and it was a good time. Here's the deal. I'm going to let him keep talking. I'm going to grab us some more ice because I'm going to get us some more ice because I got to drink it on the rocks. I'm a puss like that. I can't do that shit.
You know what? I'm pretty good with on the rocks. I mean, that's a pretty good scotch to
It's
have
good.
with a single block of ice.
And
And the
nice-
thing is, these are blocks. They're actually, square cube blocks.
I mean,
it's
I know
pretty cool.
I know a little bit about how this works.
I would imagine you do. I've seen the bottles of scotch that you have, so I think you know a little something about something, just enough to be dangerous.
just enough to be dangerous.
Exactly.
And if anybody's been watching this, and I know a few of you that watch these as I publish them over time, is that we've went through a lot of bottles of scotch over the last year and a
Right.
half. So I'm gonna go get a couple more ice cubes for us. I'm gonna let him talk too. I'll be right back. And maybe in this moment, do me a favor, because we need to segue
Yeah,
into the next
absolutely.
conversation. I've purposely and sadly taken us from Celtic Festival to talking about heritage and how you got into that. I want to hear the rest of that, because
The rest of that.
here's the thing is that I know him as a musician, which is all good, and everybody knows that I play music and I know these musicians, but at the same time, I want to hear what he's into, and this whole, the Highland Games is fun, because this is something that I want to learn.
It's a shitload of fun, man.
And you know what? I'm going to take my kids to see this shit sometime, and my girlfriend, whether she likes it or not, we're going to go see it sometime.
All right, so Highland Games. Basically, imagine like strongman competition, except you're throwing things. You've got 56-pound weights if you're a heavyweight thrower that you are throwing for both height and distance. You've got things that look like telephone poles that you're trying to flip over end over end. It's an absolutely fucking monstrous thing to watch. And if you ever get a chance, check out some of the like world championship Highland Games. These guys are monsters. They're absolute fucking monsters, man. And I've had the privilege of meeting, some national and world-class throwers, and they are also some of the most down-to-earth fucking guys you'll ever meet. I mean, absolutely cool. They'll give you pointers, all that shit. But I will say this. Coming in September, Celtic Festival, Highland Games of the Quad Cities. You all need to show up. It's a free event. Bring your kids. There's a little something for everybody. There's petting zoo. There's Irish wolfhounds, which are actually the tallest breed of dog you could ever find. These dogs are fucking huge. They're also the phrase "gentle giant" is putting it lightly. These things are awesome. We've got pony rides, we've got horse rides, but it's an absolute great thing, and it's a 501c3 nonprofit organization. It's a charitable organization, and basically what we do, the entire point of having this festival is to educate the public and educate the people about Celtic culture, about Scottish, Irish, Welsh. Let's see, you've got Scotland, Ireland, Wales, Isle of Man. There's 7 nations, and I know I'm already fucking this up and forgetting a few, but I'm enjoying the scotch.
Google it, and so that
Google that shit. 7 nations, 7 Celtic nations.
So the
GTS. Google that shit.
does Celtic, and maybe you said this when I was gone, Greg. Does Celtic refer to the whole area up there, or is that like just one particular area?
Woo, Petey.
Mm-hmm.
Celtic actually is a, if I remember right, it's a language group.
Okay.
So
Something they share all together. You're
yeah,
saying?
with language groups, you have things like Indo-European language groups encompass, I believe, the Germanic languages, the Celtic languages, and the Basque and Romance languages. So you've got your Romance would be your Italian, Spanish, and French. Germanic would be the Scandinavian languages, Swedish, stuff like that. Celtic is Welsh, Irish. There is Irish Gaelic, Scots Gaelic. stuff like that. It's actually considered a language or a cultural group. It's also defined by its art. There's a very definitive style of Celtic artwork. It's a lot of flowing lines, a lot of intertwining lines, a lot of. It's a very organic style of artwork. It's a very beautiful style of artwork. A lot of tattoo artists don't like it because of the amount of small lines and figuring out
details.
It's not the detail.
Oh,
it's figuring out, okay, where one line ends and another one begins. There's defined boundaries between each line, but then trying to make that line continue past the boundary. It's absolutely incredible.
To make it look good on the right, to make it look good as a tattoo.
Exactly.
Saying. Yeah.
And by far one of the best tattoo artists that have done any work for me, Coy Regelson at Unique Ink in Davenport, #Unique Ink, Davenport, Iowa. Boom. I'm gonna give some love to everyone I can.
Why not? You know what?
But
Celtic, what should I put? Celtic art?
Knot, KNOT.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep,
I mean, you've got stuff like that. I mean, and that's the simple kind of stuff right there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the easy stuff. You get into the really, really high-end Celtic knot work, it gets wicked complicated.
Well, I'm looking up here. Is that tree-looking thing? The tree.
My wife actually has that tree tattooed on her arm.
Is that like a Game of Thrones wolf?
No.
On the middle there?
Actually, yeah. Just to the left of that looks a lot like a Stark dire wolf.
It does.
Which, by the way, I still have not seen any of the episodes of Game of Thrones.
From season 1?
No, dude. From season 8.
Why not?
From the current season. I don't have HBO.
See me after this. What? I am not sharing any passwords with anybody. I just want you to know that I discourage that. You need to buy your own motherfucking passwords, people. You know what I'm talking about.
Information is free. Once it hits the web, it's free. Hack the planet. Hack the planet.
Yes, so that means that after tonight, you're going to have 2 episodes to catch up on before the big battle comes on Sunday.
Word up.
That's what I'm hearing. The word is on the street.
Yes. Supposedly they're saying it is the largest on-screen battle with the most extras, the most characters.
Oh,
and
really quick,
it's
too.
fucking huge, man.
Quick shout out.
Yeah.
Not that they're fucking watching. Brent Hines from Mastodon. The guys from Mastodon, the band, have apparently been extras as White Walkers in the past. If you haven't seen that shit, look it up. They are fucking White Walkers. And Brent Hines, the guitar player and one of the singers from Mastodon, is like,
he's in
that. He is.
I've seen Mastodon. And the thing is, like, their stage show, when I saw them at the Rave up in Milwaukee.
Oh, okay.
I saw them at the Rave in Milwaukee. They opened for Death Clock.
Yeah.
Of all bands, they
fucking Death Clock from Adult Swim.
Yeah, exactly. #Adult Swim.
Schwizgar.
Exactly. Squizgar Squiggle, taller than a tree.
Yes.
They opened for Death Clock at the Rave in Milwaukee. And Mastodon's stage show, totally minimalistic.
Right.
I mean, they had a video screen behind them with like the fucked up Baphomet, visuals and stuff. And I think they played through the entire Crack the Sky album. Crack the Sky is an excellent album. #Crack the Sky.
Kids, if you don't recognize Mastodon, check them out.
You need to do this shit. Mastodon is an excellent band. I don't know if they're quite metal. I don't know if they're like prog. They're kind of like prog,
depending
man.
on the album, I guess.
It all depends on the album. But they've all just got this like super weird, early European kind of symbolism to them that is just really cool. So, if you don't listen to Mastodon, check them out. If you've never given them a chance, do it.
Do it.
Their shit is awesome.
And you know what? Their members are on.
They're on Game of Thrones,
they're on
man.
Game of Thrones as White Walkers.
They're on Game of Thrones. Actually, that looks like that's from season 7. That's the standoff where I believe it's Viserion.
Yeah.
Gets killed by the Night's King and then resurrected as a dragon white, no less.
That was a crazy awesome episode.
That was an absolutely fucking awesome episode.
So
I have seasons 1 through 7. I have them on Blu-ray.
Oh, okay.
I've watched them. I have binge watched that shit.
Sure.
I mean, Game of Thrones is awesome. I mean,
It is awesome.
for a guy that grew up reading novels from like David Eddings and Tolkien, obviously.
Yeah.
A show like this, it was a fucking godsend for someone like me. I'm a geek, man.
Yeah.
I'm a total fucking geek. I played D&D when I was in high school and when I was in college. I actually played a little bit after college too.
There's no shame in that.
No, there's absolutely no shame in it.
No shame.
No. I mean, we have imaginations. Use them.
Right.
Absolutely use them.
How you want to.
Yeah.
And we're not judging you. Just use them.
But Game of Thrones it's an awesome show, especially if you were into like geek culture and, RPG, D&D, shit like that. Watch it. I mean, there's all these, fucking memes on Facebook now. It's like, oh, I've never seen a single episode of Game of Thrones. Good for you. You want a fucking cookie?
Don't be a bitch. Here's the thing, is that Facebook, and not to get into social media too much.
Oh, no. I'm going to get into that shit here in a bit.
When we got time, here's the thing, is that, so with me and Facebook, it's funny because I communicated with him to get him on here through Facebook, but only because, so here's the thing, I messaged him on Facebook, but I don't do Facebook personally. I have an account, but it's to manage my band pages and my podcast page, and my girlfriend's my only friend. That's literally the only friend I have. I get requests all the time from people I know, and I decline that shit. I have a work Facebook page that can hit me up on for my McDonald's Facebook page, okay? I sweep floors for a living. If you want to get involved in that, you can go follow me on Facebook on my work page. So I hit him up on that. I gave up on Facebook years ago because there's a bunch of bullshit and political drama and people bitching and complaining. And you know
that ain't no lie.
Here's something that he said earlier that I completely think is totally cool. Not everybody deserves a fucking trophy.
No,
Get
absolutely.
the fuck over it. And I'm not referring to the special Highland Games. I'm talking to all you whiny bitches out there. And I don't give a shit if you unsubscribe to me. I don't care. Get over yourselves. You know what? Because if I just sat back and fucking waited for somebody to hand me something, I'd be in the motherfucking gutter somewhere. That's all I gotta say.
I'll put it this way. I mean, the world is much bigger than you are. The universe is much bigger than you are.
People don't understand that though. It makes you feel insignificant, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
I'm a big old school science fiction horror fan.
Wait a minute, you're not a Scientologist, are you?
No, God, no. That shit's a cult.
For real.
Hashtag Scientology cult.
L. Ron Hubbard, you crazy dead motherfucker.
Fuck L. Ron Hubbard and fuck all his clones.
You know what?
That's right. I worked in a Tool reference.
This is why I'm so glad I'm over. It's like I was speechless from him because anytime there's Tool lyrics brought up, I mean, I just like all aflutter. It's just pretty awesome. Fuck L. Ron Hubbard. Fuck all his clones.
I don't know how long your podcasts usually run, but I can talk till the fucking cows come home, brother.
The shortest one is just over an hour. The longest one has been 2 hours and 15 minutes.
All right, we all good then.
I mean, yeah, we're like an hour and a half in.
Oh, shit.
So.
But.
Fuck all these hip gangster wannabes.
No.
That's from the Tool song, too. The same one. Anima.
Hip gangster wannabes.
Am I that drunk? Yes.
Fuck L. Ron Hubbard and fuck all his clones.
Keep going.
Oh, shit. Now you're going to make me remember the whole goddamn lyric string.
Hold on. I'm going to get drunk and play. Keep going,
though. Ooh,
though.
shit.
Start from the beginning.
So my thing is this. The world and the universe is much bigger than anyone fucking thinks it is. Everyone wants to think that they are the center of their own fucking universe. And in your own head, yeah, sure you are.
I do. I think
but
that.
At the end of the day, you're this. You're less than this. You're a tiny little fucking speck of dust. I'm a huge sci-fi fan. I'm a huge horror fan. I like to read.
He's not a part of any cults, though.
No, I am not a part of any cult. One of my favorite authors has got to be H.P. Lovecraft.
What is he famous for again?
H.P. Lovecraft is famous for the entire Cthulhu mythos.
Oh.
Call of Cthulhu, The Strange Case of Dexter Ward, stuff like that. I mean, his entire idea when it came to science fiction and horror was that human beings and Earth itself are tiny. Absolutely insignificant compared to the infinite idea of the universe. A universe that is so old and so infinite and doesn't give the least bit of a fuck about you.
I'm playing your kind of background music going.
I'm trying to remember what movie it is where one of the characters says the best chance is, oh, it's fucking Fight Club.
Is it fucking Fight Club?
Fucking Fight Club, man. Where he says, and I'm paraphrasing, absolutely paraphrasing, is Brad Pitt as Tyler Durden saying, chances are God doesn't like you. Best, he fucking hates you. Or God doesn't exist. Best case scenario, he fucking hates you.
And you know what? That leads us in this. Learn to swim.
Oh, shit. Are you trying to make me sing?
I'll sing a little bit with you.
Please do, because I need a starter.
Some say the end is near.
Some say we'll see Armageddon soon. Certainly hope we will. Zasha could use a vacation from this bullshit 3-ring circus sideshow. Freaks are in this hopeless fucking hole we call LA. The only way to fix it is to flush it all away. Any fucking time, any fucking day. Learn to swim, see you down in Arizona Bay. And that is probably the worst singing anyone will ever fucking hear out of me.
That's okay. Here, I'm going to do one now. Let me do the second verse.
All right.
Yeah. Fret for your figure and fret for your latte and fret for your lawsuit and fret for your hairpiece and fret for your Prozac and fret for your pilot and fret for your contract and fret for your car. It's a bullshit 3-ring circus sideshow. Freaks are in this hopeless fucking hole we call LA. The only way to fix it is to flush it all away. Any fucking time, any fucking day. Learn to swim, see you down in Arizona Bay. Remember this next part?
I don't know, dude. I've been drinking.
Some say a comet will fall from the sky, followed by meteor showers and tidal waves, followed by fault lines and cannot sit still, followed by millions of dumbfounded dipshits who some say the end is near. Some say we'll see Armageddon soon. I certainly hope we will. I'm drunk.
I sure could use a vacation from this stupid shit. Silly shit.
Yes.
Stupid shit. One great big festering neon distraction. I've a suggestion to keep you all occupied. Learn to swim. Learn to swim. Learn to swim. Learn to swim. Fuck L. Ron Hubbard and fuck all his clones. Fuck all these gun-toting hip gangster wannabes. Learn to swim. Learn to swim. Learn to swim. Fuck retro anything. Fuck your tattoos. Fuck your short memories and fuck your...
Fuck you all you junkies and
fuck your short memories. Learn to swim. Learn to swim. Learn to swim. Fuck smiley glad hands with hidden agendas. Fuck you dysfunctional insecure actresses. Learn to swim. Learn to swim. Learn to swim. I'm praying for rain. I'm praying for tidal waves.
Yep.
I wanna see it all go down. Oh yeah, there we go.
I
wanna watch it all go down. Ma, please flush it all away. I wanna see it go riding down. I wanna watch it go riding. Ma, please flush it all away. And try to bring it down again. Don't just call me pessimist. Try and read between the lines. I don't understand why you wouldn't wanna welcome any change, my friend. See it go down, suck it down, flush it down.
There you go. You know what? You can't, this is free entertainment right now.
Oh, fuck yeah.
What else could you want out of life?
Shit.
I'm going to put this guitar back. Keep talking for
All right.
me.
Honestly, that is the first time I have sang in front of, we'll say an audience in a long time.
Literally tens of people.
Yeah, exactly. Wow.
So here's the
And I'm
deal.
sure I bollocksed up a bit of that. But, it's all in good fucking fun, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
like I didn't.
Fuck it. We're having a good
fucking
time.
Cares? And you know what? That's what this is all about. Hey.
Oh, I got the hiccups.
Oh, yeah. All right. There we go. We got them drunk enough at least. We got the hiccups.
A little
going.
bit.
Hiccups. So let's take a moment to recap. And we got time still, but I want to think for a moment.
Yep.
Holy cow. What have I been drinking?
More than me, apparently. I'm good,
bit.
brother.
Fair enough.
For now.
Fair enough. Here's the deal. I'm always very fortunate because I take advantage of a situation that I'm here at my house, the Ed Madison Podcast Project headquarters here in Durant. I don't have to drive anywhere. So you need to make sure we're going to get the podcast done. He's going to come down off his scotch drinking with some water.
Excellent scotch, by the way. Excellent scotch.
Highland Park 12.
Slancha.
I don't have anything to offer besides good times and some scotch. That's all I got to offer here in Durant.
And the thing is, that's good enough for me. I'm actually sitting here talking with an old friend that I was in a band with. We saw it earlier. Yeah, we saw it on the YouTube video.
That was us. Could you believe it?
Exactly.
Kilt, and I was there too. Had the beard still, right?
No, you still got the beard. You got the beard, man.
It goes and, it trims and it comes
Oh,
back.
yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
McDonald's only lets me grow it out so long, and then I
Right.
got to trim it down.
Right.
That's the only downside.
Yeah. And sometimes, if it gets a little too bushy, you got to put that hairnet over the beard.
Right. Well,
That's a pain in the ass.
so here's the thing. I didn't tell you. I'm a janitor now, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, you're good then. You're all good.
It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
I do what I want. All that I do is I bleach and I clean the corners of the bathrooms.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you
know
got to
what?
get those corners.
I got to get them. And the thing is,
most people at some point in their lives, especially in this day and age, most of the people that are on YouTube and on Facebook and shit like that,
yes,
they've worked in fast food.
They have.
They know how that horrible, horrible shit goes. They've cleaned a bathroom. They know you got to get the corners.
Can we be
Gotta.
serious for a moment?
Oh, yeah.
We've
Absolutely.
all done something like that, whether it's in your house or in fast food.
Oh, God.
My first job was Happy Joe's in Muscatine.
My first job
What
was
your first job?
Fazoli's.
In Muscatine?
No, in Bettendorf. Bettendorf, Iowa.
Where was it at in Bettendorf?
It was up on Cumberland Square in Bettendorf, right off of, I guess it's Cumberland Square is pretty much what it's called. It's a Culver's now. So it went from being one fast food place to being another fast food place.
I'm trying to remember now.
But I will say that I enjoy Fazoli's now that, almost 20 years of not working there. I enjoy it.
Breadsticks?
Oh, breadsticks. Breadsticks are the bomb. But guess what? When you go to Olive Garden, the breadsticks you get, exactly the same.
I know.
They're exactly the same.
I miss breadsticks.
I know. The breadsticks are awesome. That was the best part of a Fazoli's experience was the breadsticks. And they keep bringing them.
You can have as many as you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they're making so much money on you, they don't care anyway.
But that was my first actual job.
How old were you back then?
I was 18. Before that, I was actually what is it? WSA. I was a Red Cross certified swimming instructor aide for the Scott County YMCA. I helped teach swimming lessons from like 14 to 18.
That's pretty impressive, though.
And the thing is, though, at that time, it was a job. I mean, when I was 14, it was like, holy shit, I got money. I've actually got money coming in.
What'd you do with that money?
I bought
Insurance?
stupid shit like comic books.
Or car insurance? Did your parents pay for that?
I was 14. I didn't drive.
You didn't in the state of Iowa. So,
Well,
here's the thing.
yeah.
My oldest kid, Joey, if you're watching this summer, we're going to get your permit. He's 14 now.
Nice. I had a permit. I did have a permit at
Okay.
14.
But no car yet?
No, God, no.
I'm not getting my 14-year-old car. Hell no.
Hell no. But I taught swimming lessons at Pleasant Valley High School because they had a pool. And that was actually where I learned how to swim. I took swimming lessons at the same place I taught swimming lessons. Granted, like a decade in between or whatever. But that was my first job. My first job that was in the retail or public sector where I had to deal with people was at Fazoli's in Bettendorf, Iowa. And it was kind of cool. I mean, I was in high school.
Right. But you said you got money. And
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like, wow. It's like, this is awesome.
It was money. My parents bought my first car, which, disclaimer, I paid them back for.
No judgment. So my first vehicle was given to me by my grandparents. It was an old S10 truck.
Yeah. My first car was a 1984 Toyota Camry. And if I hadn't wrecked it in college, I probably still would be driving it to this day because I could not kill that sumbitch.
That sumbitch.
Just could not kill it.
You know how you could kill a Toyota? If you didn't change the oil. That's how you could
Well,
kill it.
yeah, but
I know somebody who had a Toyota Celica.
Now I'm sad.
And never changed the oil in it. So
What?
Replaced two engines.
Oh my God. The thing all right, do you know what trim line it was?
I don't.
Or was it a GT? GTS?
This would have been like back in, oh my gosh. Either way, do your maintenance, kids.
Oh, yeah, do your fucking car
It
maintenance.
doesn't matter if it's a fucking Toyota or a Chevy.
Change your oil.
Or whatever it is.
I mean, seriously.
It's not that hard.
I mean, the absolute least you can do, change your oil. Or at least check how much oil you have.
You know how many miles my truck has on it now?
How many?
240,000 miles.
Well done, sir. Well done.
Thanks, McDonald's. Holy shit. So, we have been all over the place on this podcast.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
I love it. It's been great.
Yeah.
I got great perform.
This is awesome. It's catching up with an old friend that I haven't seen in an absolute fucking grip, man.
It's been a hot minute.
Yeah. I mean, a hot minute is putting it lightly.
It has been.
I mean,
I just basically pestered the shit out of him to come hang out, and then he's like, "All right, I'll do it."
You know, the thing is, Ed fucking messaged me on. He used the Facebook Messenger because it's
Facebook.
Exactly, the book face.
The book face.
He used the Facebook Messenger to get a hold of me, and he asked if I would be interested in doing his podcast.
Because I wanted him to. It wasn't like I was reaching out to everybody. I was reaching out to people that I wanted to have on.
And like I don't think I actually said this to him, but one of my first thoughts was, who the fuck am I to be on a podcast? Like, I have really nothing important to say to anyone or anything like that. I just sit and bullshit.
You know what the most important thing I can take away from this before I got drunk and took this off the rails and like went to like 20 different subjects is that this gentleman right here in front of me, not only is he passionate about something like the Highland Games and the Celtic Festival, but he's also a part of the special Highland Games. And if you can get emotional about helping people out that are less fortunate than you, and maybe less fortunate isn't the word.
No, absolutely not.
I'm just drunk, so apologize.
No, it's cool, dude.
I'm not an asshole. I mean, I'm an asshole, and people know I'm an asshole, but it's not like I'm not.
You're not an asshole.
I'm not that
you
kind of
just tell
asshole.
things the way your brain perceives them is how you tell them. That doesn't make you a fucking asshole. It just makes you Ed.
What I'm trying to say is
you're just fucking Ed, dude.
I'm just fucking Ed,
and I'm good with that.
All right, I'm glad he is, and that's why I'm glad he's on. But at the same time, the things he does for people that maybe, getting them a chance to be a part of something they normally wouldn't have a chance to. Is this like a national special Highland Games?
Actually, other Highland Games have actually started doing the special Highland Games thing. And I am absolutely fucking head over heels happy that other Highland Games organizations have started doing it.
OG right here.
I don't know if we're the original. I think there's a possibility that we are, but I don't know. I'm not gonna make that claim. But the fact that other Highland Games organizations have started doing it is incredible, man. The fact that we're making as a heavy athletics community, that's what it's called. It's called heavy athletics.
It's because of how heavy.
Yeah, because we throw heavy shit.
They throw heavy shit. I mean, it's
exactly.
kind of a big deal.
The fact that the heavy athletics community is getting behind this idea that everyone, should be able to participate. The fact that community is getting behind it, absolutely fucking heart touching, man. The fact that.
When he gets a fucking award for it too, and he's what was it again?
I got a medal. I got a medal as a coach because I coached the special Highland Games for the Celtic Festival,
when
Highland Games in the Quad Cities.
Not only were you fucking in tears, think about the people that were watching you receive that you were coaching. Were they there?
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
What were they doing? They were staring right at you, thinking this is awesome for him.
It was a moving experience. I mean, it was honestly a moving experience for me to get that medal that said I helped, that I participated in helping other people, do something, that they otherwise may not have done. That, kind of like like the Special Olympics. Like, it's an event. A lot of people, and this country still has a big problem with developmentally and physically disabled individuals. But to have an event where these people can come in and just fucking put it all out there on the line and throw weights and do shit like that, that's an absolutely excellent thing. I'm a big fan of the Bill and Ted mentality. Be excellent to each other. I mean, that's the best we can do, is to be excellent to each other. Treat each other with some modicum of human respect and say, you know what? Yeah, come on. Come throw this weight with me.
Yeah.
Come lift this weight with me. Throw this caber. Throw this hammer. You know what? You can't do it that way. We'll figure out a way for you to do it. Why? Because we want everyone to be involved.
That's pretty cool.
And the best way that everything works is if everyone is involved.
Everybody should be involved.
Exactly.
If you want to be a part of it, I think there's no reason why you shouldn't be a part of it. So kudos to fucking him for getting a medal for that. And I can only imagine, that moment to be just embracing and happy and like, you're making a fucking difference in people's lives.
I don't know if I made a difference in anyone's
Yes, you
life,
motherfucking did. Yes, you did. There's no way you
I was
didn't.
proud. I will definitely say that I was proud. I was proud of the athletes that came out to throw. Because we generalize it. It's throwing. That's what we call it. We're throwing.
Yeah, but there's a fucking science to it.
I was proud of the athletes that came out to throw, and every achievement they made, every personal record they set, that was a victory. That was an absolute victory. And I could not have been happier. At the end of the day, coming back to the athletics tent of the Highland Games and asking the athletics director, our local athletics director in the Quad Cities, Mark McVeigh, badass son of a bitch. We call him Santa.
That name sounds familiar too.
If you ever see a picture of him online, he looks like Santa Claus.
Does he?
Yeah, absolutely. Big ass white beard. I mean, his beard is at
respect.
Like Santa Claus proportions, bordering on Gandalf. Oh yeah.
Harry Potter.
The fuck did you say, motherfucker?
I'm just kidding. Drunk motherfucker. Oh. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. So
he's got a Santa Claus beard bordering on Gandalf.
Here's the deal, not Gandalf. I'm just fucking kidding, all right?
I know.
So we just watched all the Harry Potter movies too?
Oh, shit.
So, yeah, that's
Have you seen the new Fantastic Beasts, Crimes of
We saw the
Grindelwald?
first one. We saw the first one. It was on HBO.
Okay.
HBO now.
It's actually on Netflix, I think, too.
Is it really?
Yeah, I think so.
So really quick,
or Amazon.
Gandalf.
One of the two.
Gandalf. You're gonna kick my ass, and all the comments are gonna pour in. But what Gandalf again? As soon as you say it, I'm gonna remember.
Dude, Gandalf is from The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings.
Oh, Lord of the Rings. Oh, as soon as you said The Hobbit, I'm like, God damn it, I knew it.
Yeah, you fucked that up pretty good.
I'm gonna go ahead and just leave now. Okay.
Yeah. This is now the Greg podcast. Ed has officially disqualified himself.
God damn it! I knew it too. As soon as he's like The Hobbit, I'm like, oh fuck, I fucked that up. God damn it.
No, we call him Santa because he looks like Santa Claus. He has actually dressed like Santa Claus for multiple occasions and played Santa Claus for children. Dude's name is Mark McVeigh.
If you got a beard like this,
oh, absolutely. He's got a beard that is about as wide as my hands are, far apart, and about as long. It's a total fucking Santa Claus beard.
It's fucking hanging like the nethers.
Oh yeah. It hangs like my nethers. I don't know about Ed, but it hangs like mine.
Depends on how cold it is. I mean, let's be honest.
All right, fine. Temperature plays a factor. But Mark McVeigh is our athletics director in the Quad Cities. He also does athletics director for Iowa Irish Fest in Waterloo, Iowa, where I also compete. And he has been absolutely 100% behind the Special Highland Games.
Which is cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, he's been doing Highland Games for years. I mean, his beard is actually probably older than I am. I'm 38 years old. His beard is probably older than me.
I'm younger than him, just to clarify that.
Right, I know. That was a real mind fuck.
That was
first time
that was
I
a
heard
moment.
that.
I really thought he was younger than me too.
No, dude.
He looks younger than me. Look at these gray motherfucking hairs. You see this? I didn't have gray hairs when I met you. I just want you to know.
I still have none. I still have none.
I blame my kids. He's got kids though too.
I also have children.
Yeah.
I also have children. I have 2 daughters that I love very much.
Family man.
Yeah, absolutely. I have 2 daughters. The youngest is 4. She'll be 5 in August. Pardon me. I'm still thinking about Highland Games, so September's in my mind.
It's so crazy though to think that when I jammed with him last when we were in that Cognizite van that we showed video of, I remember his daughter wasn't even, or was just born, wasn't even born right around that time, right?
Maybe it's 6 one way, half a dozen the other, man.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy though. It's been that long. It's been.
But my oldest daughter, Rowan, she is. I have 3 lights. I have 3 lights in my life that make everything worth doing. I have my wife Kim, Kim Miller Johnson. Absolute love of my life. I had a crush on her in high school. Pleasant Valley.
Pleasant Valley.
I went to Pleasant Valley. I'm one of the few non-rich kids that went to Pleasant Valley. Everybody, they hear Pleasant Valley, they think, oh, fucking rich kids. Nah, dude. Kids from LeClaire, or at least LeClaire the way it was in the 90s, they all went to Pleasant Valley. Not all of us were rich. Yes. Most of us weren't rich, especially if we're from LeClaire. But Kim Miller Johnson, I prefer just Kim Johnson. She's my wife. My oldest daughter, Rowan, technically she's a stepdaughter, but you know what?
Daughter though. Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The only way to make that kind of thing work is she's my daughter.
Yes.
She's not my stepdaughter. She's not any different from.
Good for you though. That's awesome.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's only one way to make it work. Because if you do it any other way, eventually you end up with issues of resentment, or God forbid, when she's 16, you're not really my dad. You know what? She's my daughter, and I love her as wholeheartedly as I love my youngest daughter, who is actually the daughter of both Kim and I. Her name is Raven Astrid Johnson. And she will be 5 this year. And
that's crazy, because I feel like that's the last time we were like hanging out too.
They are the lights of my life. They're literally what keeps me going. I mean, a lot of people like to talk about a connection between creativity and, for lack of a better term, mental illness. Mm-hmm. But you look at artists like Van Gogh, Kurt Cobain, Lane Staley, any number of people, Anthony Bourdain.
Oh, who passed away too.
Exactly.
Yep.
All of these people that have met. I mean, truth be told, I didn't like her music. Amy Winehouse.
But yeah, passed away. Rest in peace.
Exactly. They're all artists. They're all creative people in some way, shape, or form. And nobody really likes to talk about the connection between creativity, intelligence, artistry, I guess would be the right word. and mental illness. I've dealt with, I mean, we'll say Google diagnosed depression for years, and I've gone through some pretty bad times personally, mentally, and it's a struggle to cover it up, to try to be like, no, I'm fine. When at the end of the day, you're not fine. You wake up you go to bed and you wake up the next morning and you're like, shit, I woke up. That's the kind of shit that nobody wants to talk about. And especially with men, because we're expected to keep our emotions and our mental insecurities and stuff like that. We're expected to keep it like buried so far fucking underneath this idea of what is masculine. It's like, I'm a fucking blacksmith. I'm a gun owner. I sell guns for a living.
We didn't even get to what he does for a living, by the way.
Right. Rock Island Auction Company.
Yep.
I work for Rock Island Auction Company. We are the #1 auction house for historical, collector, and just firearms in general in the world.
Can you do me a favor?
Yeah, dude.
Because I feel like we haven't even got to a lot of shit we can talk about, and I didn't even get to finish like asking him about.
Dude, I'm gonna make this the longest fucking podcast you've ever had because I can talk for God knows how fucking long.
Instead of that,
because I love fucking talking to people.
And instead of this is what I'd rather do. And with your permission, what I'd rather do. There's so much we haven't even talked about, and I've gotten so many drunken, sidetracked conversations with Greg. Is that there's more on the Celtic festival I want to talk about. There's more on his job we didn't even get to because we got all over the place. But here's the thing. When I started doing this last January, I think I did 18 episodes or 17 episodes last year or something like that. I was only planning on doing 1 a month. This year I'm trying to do 2 a month.
Ooh.
You're the second one I've done this month.
All right.
So what I'm trying to say is, wouldn't it be cool? I'm going to have Greg back again.
I would love that.
If not later this year, because I feel like there's a lot of, we could do a second like podcast of talking about, I want to finish up the questions I have about the Celtic Games, of the Celtic Festival. I want to talk about the Rock Island Auction
Company. Rock Island Auction Company.
Because when I knew him before in our previous, band life together, I remember you just got that job.
Yeah,
too.
I had just gotten that job, and as a describer for the catalog.
Which I want to talk about that. So I'm not a big gun guy, as my friends know, but at the same time, I'm okay to talk about it. So it'd be fun to talk about that. Can you do me a favor, Greg?
Yeah, brother.
I want you to come back. I want to talk again. We're gonna dig into another bottle of scotch. Yes. And then we're also can you do me a favor?
Yeah, brother.
Let's jam a couple of times before then, and let's record some music too.
I agree.
Acoustically.
I agree. If I could though, I'd like to, on my mental health thing, I'd like to.
And that's the things we can talk about. Yes, finish that. But then if we need to follow up next time, I'd love to do that.
No, absolutely.
And I wasn't trying to cut him off, but I was thinking, oh my God, you know what? There's so many things we haven't even talked about, is what I was thinking, right? Greg, we want to get him back on. We're going to talk again here in the EMPP headquarters in Durant, Iowa. But take it away on your final thoughts on the mental health side of things.
So a lot of creative people.
Just a little bit more.
Just
a little bit.
I'll do just a hair more.
Are we going to jam after this podcast a little bit?
Maybe.
Don't tease me, you motherfucker.
Maybe. Yeah, I need to work some of this scotch off.
Yes, go for it.
So a lot of creative people throughout history have dealt with mental health issues.
For instance,
Van Gogh, Amy Winehouse, Kurt Cobain, Lane Staley.
Which we brought up.
Which I already brought up. But the problem is that men in this country, specifically in this country, it's actually become a very specifically American thing, is that we don't talk about what the fuck is bothering us. We don't talk about what the fuck is going on in our heads. The most common fucking thing is for someone to say, "Hey, you all right?" "Yeah, I'm okay." You're not and generally the response comes after you immediately think to yourself, "No, I'm not okay."
Knee-jerk reaction.
I am fucking screaming inside. I feel dead. I have lost all passion for the things that I love, for the things that give me that drive to move forward. So I will say this to all the people listening, all 20 of you or whatever.
There's more than that.
I know. I'm just giving you shit, bro.
It's okay. Here's the thing. I don't have a shitload of subscribers, but I got 266 subscribers.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's more than my blacksmithing page has on Facebook, so well done, sir.
It's been a slow year and a half almost.
But when someone asks if you're okay, it's all right to tell them, "No, I'm not okay."
But why is that? Why do we say no? Why do we say yes, we're okay?
We say yes because we've been ingrained with this idea that I hate. Oh God, it's gonna. Everyone's gonna say, "Oh, fucking snowflake," blah blah blah. No, it's not a fucking snowflake thing.
We're not laying down on the highway somewhere.
If your idea of being okay is burying what you feel and what the fuck bothers you, you're not okay.
I'm not okay. I'm not okay.
Oh, Jesus shit.
He
went for the My Chemical Romance reference.
Yes, he recognized it.
And fuck yeah, I did.
And that's why I'm having him on again. That's
dude,
right there.
It's
not like I'm listening to that shit.
I literally came to age in the 90s.
We're close. He's a little bit older than me. I'm just going to bring that up again.
That shit came out when I was in college. It came out when I was in college, bro. But if you're not okay...
I'm not... Oh, God.
There's nothing wrong with telling someone, "No, I'm not. I'm not good, man. This is the shit that is on my mind." And, you look at suicide rates, especially among, again, I'm going to be the politically incorrect guy and say the suicide rate among males is fucking going up. It's okay to talk about what the fuck is on your mind. It's okay to talk about what's bothering you.
Absolutely.
And if that helps any one person, if that helps any one man out there that is dealing with some shit that he thinks he can't deal with or that no one gives a shit about, fuck, at least I've done something. Because I tell you what, I have been there. I'm there at least once a month. I've dealt with, again, like I said, Google diagnosed depression for years. And I'm finally getting to the point where I'm able to talk to my friends, like Ed, like a couple other friends, about what the fuck is bothering me. About the fact that I feel like I'm fucking powerless. Like I have no drive anymore. Like I have no reason. Talk to your friends.
Talk to somebody.
I'm telling you, talk to anybody. Talk to anybody that will listen. And if the first thing they say is, "Oh, will you get over it?" Fucking cut that person out.
Then they're not your friend.
They're not your friend.
That's exactly
because they're not there to listen to you. Your true friend is going to listen to you. And, they might not say anything. Because they might not have anything to say.
They might not know what to say.
Exactly.
They may not know what to say.
Exactly.
Yep.
But talk to somebody. Get that shit off your chest. At least for that moment. At least for that moment. Find a little bit of lightening. Lightening. Not lightning, but lightening. Get a little bit of that off your chest and talk to somebody. Because you need to do it. You need to fucking do it. Everybody likes the trendy thing is toxic masculinity. You know what? There's nothing wrong with being a guy. There's nothing wrong with enjoying things like firearms. There's nothing wrong with enjoying things like blacksmithing and heavy athletics and athletic competition and winning. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. But when you got something going wrong up in here or in here, you need to talk to somebody. And if you can't find somebody to talk to, you need to look harder. That shit will wear on you.
You need to get yourself straight.
Yeah.
For yourself
Absolutely.
And for your family.
Yeah. Especially for you guys with families. Especially. Everybody's got a family. Everybody's got a mom and a dad. Some people have kids. Some people have wives. Some people have girlfriends. Find someone that you can talk to. If you don't, that shit is going to fucking eat at you and eat at you and eat at you until you eventually wake up one morning and you say, fuck, I woke up. That's the biggest advice I could ever give to anyone is if you know you need to talk to someone, fucking talk to somebody.
You know, the hardest thing to think about too, and Greg, he's doing a good job of explaining that, you know, if you need to talk to somebody. A lot of people don't. And then what happens next? You know, for the extreme cases.
What happens next is you end up with guys like Kurt Cobain. You end up with guys like Lane Staley.
Can we talk about a couple of people that, so I saw Chris Cornell 2 times. Remember I told you I saw Corey Taylor acoustically live?
Yeah.
I saw Chris Cornell twice acoustically before he killed himself.
That's a dream show for me.
Once in Madison, Wisconsin.
Obviously a dream show for me now.
And I saw him twice. Madison, Wisconsin, went up and saw him. And then I also saw him when he played over in the not River Center, fucking Adler. Was it the Adler? What's the one over in fucking Davenport that he played at too? So I saw him twice, and he's like dead.
River Center, Adler,
like another year,
same
or some
deal.
shit like that, right?
6-1 by half dozen.
Here's the thing: if you got fucking issues and you're not telling anybody, Greg just laid this shit out perfectly. You need to at least reach out to somebody. Yeah. And you know, suicide is never anything to be ashamed of. People have these thoughts all the time. It doesn't matter if you're successful or you're not successful, or if you're, you know, you've got the world in your pocket or not. You know, shit like Kurt Cobain. Think about that when he fucking killed himself.
He was at the absolute top of his, considering he was at the top of his career. I mean, he was at the absolute apex of his career because his career ended by his own hand.
Did you see that documentary about him? There was a good documentary on, like, I don't know if it was Netflix or HBO or some shit like that, about like what happened, you know, his diaries and shit like that, and the shit he was writing down. It was interesting. But people, it's like, no, he couldn't get any help though. You know what I'm saying? It's like you need to find help.
The thing is, we have in the United States specifically, we have such a stigma against mental illness. And depression, no matter what anyone fucking tells you, is a mental illness. Mm-hmm. It absolutely is. All these people will say, oh, you're sad. No, I'm not fucking sad. I'm sad if my cat dies. I'm sad if my dog runs away and doesn't come home. Depression is a persistent state of, for me, feeling like you're nothing. That's depression to me.
Depression is heavy in its way, and I can't remember what song that's from.
Oh, I don't know. But it's a persistent, for me, it's a persistent state of feeling like you're nothing. Like nothing you do matters. Like no matter, you know, you achieve a goal. Okay, you achieve a goal, and for that one moment you're happy. But then everything comes fucking crashing back down on you. And it's like, I've got this to deal with. I've got this to deal with. And everyone's going to say, yeah, well, that's just regular life. Everyone's got that shit to deal with. And everyone does. But some people deal with it better than others. And some people panic about it. And some people lose their fucking minds over it.
He's right.
Because they're trying to make their world perfect. And they know that no matter how hard they work, how hard they try, they'll never make their world perfect. They'll never make the world perfect for the people they love, the people they care about. And they'll never, in their own minds, they'll never be good enough. They'll absolutely never be good enough, no matter how much they achieve. Which is why you see guys like Lane Staley. Lane Staley was an incredible vocalist. He was an incredible songwriter. He was able to sing and write songs that made you feel things. The songs sounded good, but they made you feel. And for me, that's music. That's music right there. If music doesn't make you feel something, it's vapid. It's vapid. It doesn't have any substance. Kurt Cobain, same way. Amy Winehouse, I wasn't personally a fan of her music, but that woman's voice had soul.
Right.
She had soul in her voice.
What was that big? What was the biggest song she had again? I can't remember.
Rehab, I think, was her biggest
Rehab.
hit.
Yep.
And everyone likes to joke, yeah, maybe she went to rehab, she'd still be alive. You know what, motherfucker? Yeah, maybe she would be.
You know what's funny?
But that's what made that song.
There's a lot of songs out there that a lot of people don't realize that I do on a solo acoustic side of things too. Some of these songs that sound poppy and happy are actually super fucking depressing. Like, so think of Ed Sheeran songs, or I think of older songs that I do, like Third Eye Blind, Semi-Charmed Life. That song's about heroin.
No, it's about meth.
Or meth.
It's about meth
or whatever.
Meth addiction.
Meth addiction or whatever.
Yeah, we live in Iowa. We should know about meth addiction.
Mexcatine.
Oh, methcatine.
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 What? We don't live in Muscatine.
No, we don't.
We don't. We live in Buffalo and Durant. We got out of that shithole. Nothing wrong with that shithole. I mean, nothing wrong with that area.
You know what? There's plenty of people I love in Muscatine. Plenty of people. But the drug problem in Muscatine is real.
Drugs are bad. Okay?
I mean, it's real.
Okay.
But you look at guys like Lane Staley, Kurt Cobain, Anthony Bourdain. Anthony Bourdain was a fucking millionaire. He was a millionaire chef with his own chain of restaurants. The dude didn't have to cook another day in his life if he didn't want to.
I mean, the cooks, think about the big cooks.
And he fucking killed himself.
He did. You're right. And that's too bad. Again, here's the deal. It doesn't matter. Get fucking somebody to talk to. It doesn't have to be your best friend. If you're uncomfortable talking to your best friend, talk. There's like 1-800 numbers for that shit. The Chris Cornell thing, it blew me the fuck away.
Yeah,
I saw this guy a couple of times the past 5 years, and he kills himself. I'm like, I didn't get to see Soundgarden, but I saw him play solo acoustic, and the shit, dude, his voice was there.
Oh my god,
fucking there. It was
Chris Cornell.
It was there.
I know that I said that LeJean and Corey Taylor have the two best voices in heavy metal, and they do. I totally agree with that.
Yes.
But as far as a voice that is 100% absolutely soulful
and unique,
alive,
or was alive,
at the time was alive, and you felt every note, you felt every inflection in that voice. Chris Cornell was an incredible vocalist,
man.
And I regret the fact that I never saw him. I never saw Chris Cornell solo. I never saw Soundgarden. But I will say that every solo song he has ever done was a soulful, I will say, introspective into what he was dealing with. You felt every note. You felt everything. And that's the fucked up thing about being a singer and a songwriter, is you put so much of yourself into a song, and you put so much of yourself into the way you sing it. And I think in the back of your mind, you're hoping someone hears it. You're hoping that someone will understand what the fuck is going on in your brain. I mean, I've written songs before that like I wrote a song when I was with Thought Fracture / Nile Seraph, and it was this song title was called "Cuts Both Ways," and that was probably the most fucking soulful shit I've ever written. It was it was I mean, I basically you could say it was a cry for help, man. I mean, I've been in a bad place for a long time mentally. And it took a lot of things to try to pull me out of that. And I'm still not entirely out. I'm still in a place where it's like waking up in the morning is a chore. Not because I have to wake up and go to work or wake up and get the kids ready for school. Just the physical act of waking up, the mental act of waking up and realizing that you have to face another day. That's a fucking chore, man. And that shit fucking hurts. I mean, it fucking stabs you in a place that most people don't like to talk about. I mean, and I've been pretty closed-lipped about it with a lot of my friends, with the exception of a select few, Ed being one of them. And it's fucking hard, man. You gotta work that shit out. You gotta find someone that you can talk to, that you can on some level relate to, or at least that will fucking listen to you when you have something to say.
It's tough because some people, they don't have the time.
No, absolutely. They don't have the time. They don't have the time, or they're held back by this idea that mental illness and depression is something to be shunned. I mean, I remember when I was in college, and I'm going to say this because my mom's not on YouTube, but I remember when I was in college, my best friend, he committed suicide. And to be fair, he had terminal cancer.
Oh, he did. Okay.
He was. It was a foregone.
Not that it's acceptable. But
No.
I'm just saying though.
We'll get into that.
Yeah.
But my best friend, he committed suicide when I was in college, and that fucking hit me. I mean, that hit me hard. That was the first real death. I was 21 years old. That was the first real death I ever experienced in my life of someone that wasn't a family member, a direct blood family member. I mean, my grandfather had died before that, but
yeah,
my best friend died, and I found out how, and I found out what, and that fucking hit me in a really, really fucking hard way. And it's just nobody, even then, especially then, I mean, this idea of men being able to talk about what's on their minds and what's bothering them and what is dragging them down, was still a very, very strong thing. I mean, men didn't talk about that shit. Especially men in their early 20s and stuff like that. You're a man, you're in your early 20s, you're fucking invincible. You're God as far as anyone's concerned. But as you get older, you start to realize that, no, I'm not. I'm fucking mortal as anyone else. And why isn't this shit working out the way I thought it would? And shit's never going to work out the way you thought it would. Never. Absolutely fucking never. I never thought that I would be 38 years old with a 4-year-old. Absolutely never. It never fucking works out the way you think. But you know what? The things in your life that are worth doing, that are worth hanging around for, you gotta grab onto that shit. I mean, my daughters, I have two. I have two daughters. They're 11 and 4. They're the absolute loves of my life, alongside my wife. You have to grab onto that shit, and you have to just hold it as tight as you can, and you have to find that friend. You have to find that one person. Maybe they're not a friend. Maybe they're just someone that will turn an ear towards you and listen to you.
Which is hard to find sometimes.
Exactly. It's really fucking hard to find. You have to fucking find those things, and you have to talk to them. Don't let any of this bullshit of men don't talk about their feelings. Men don't do this. Men don't do that. Fucking do it. Fucking talk to somebody. Or I swear to God, shit will end badly for you.
We don't want it to.
And we've a lot of us guys out there, I don't want to say we've all, but a lot of us guys out there, we've been there. We've done that. Some of us are still there. I am. We need to find an outlet. We need to find someone that, or a group of someone's that will listen to you.
I think if anything, before we leave this off, because I think we need to get to a point where we're gonna. No, and it's not. No, what
it's good.
You're talking about is good. I'm gonna have Greg back on because I feel like there's a lot more we can talk about too. Take care of yourself. It doesn't matter if you're
absolutely.
Doesn't matter if you're a dude or a chick, or you're a dude that needs to talk to somebody because you're afraid to, or a chick for that same matter, a lady, right? Doesn't matter. You got big black in your life? Big black?
Big black.
Big black. Strong.
Slancha.
I'm not making jokes. I'm being dead serious. But at the same time, it's like, I told him earlier, I'm like, pick a glass for the night. And I'm like, I got the iceberg, the twist, and the big black. And he's like, well, it's like,
I got to get that big black.
Yeah. I really want to take a moment to thank, and I know we lost the camera. We lost the 4K camera.
Oh, did we really? Shit.
Dude, you know what? You know that 4K camera takes up? Like 2 hours is like 70 gigabytes.
Holy shit.
I need a bigger SD card.
I can talk, man. That's the thing.
SanDisk or Best Buy, if you want to support me and like sponsor some SD cards for me, because they're fucking, I need a bigger SD card. But that 4K video, these 1080 cameras, they'll last a little bit longer. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, Greg Johnson was nice to come over. I'm glad I pestered his ass to come over and hang out with me. I mean, I pestered your ass.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
I'm good with it, though.
I'm a dick.
It helped.
I'm going to pester his ass, but I'm going to pester his ass to come back again. I don't know if it's when it's going to be, but I want to have him back. We're going to talk more about the Celtic Festival, the Highland Games. We're going to talk about taking care of your mental health. We're going to talk about music, because it's very... Let's be honest, you can watch back through any of these podcasts, and I've never done Tool with anybody live before like that. Because you know what? There's not very many people that I've shared the stage with that can fucking scream and we can do metal together.
I ain't nothing special.
Fuck if you're not. And here's the deal.
I'm just a guy that likes to sing, man.
We brought the Viking honor tonight, and it wasn't just a drink. It was this man right here. This man right here, Greg Johnson. And I hope you're going to join us next time, because you know what, motherfucker? You better come back.
I'll be back.
This better not be the last time I see you for another 5 years.
No.
What, 4 or 5 years or some shit like that? Until next time, here's the deal. We lost this camera, but let's go ahead and use this one because it's facing you.
All right.
Until next time.
Hold on. I got one more thing.
One more thing.
All of you motherfuckers are going to sit out there and call me a pussy because...
what the
fuck
ever.
No. I'm going to do this shit.
Do it.
I'm going to do this shit. You're going to call me a pussy because I'm talking about the shit that bothers me. Fuck you. There's a lot of men out there right now that are dealing with shit far worse than I'm dealing with.
Way worse.
Far worse. And they need someone to talk to. Could be your friend, could be your brother, could be some guy walking down the fucking street. Could be some guy you meet at a show, which, by the way, support local music. Go to your shows. Go see local bands. But you know what? You want to call me a pussy? Fuck you. I'm out here bearing my soul to one of my good friends and the world, because this is on the fucking internet, and the internet is the world at this point. What do you got to lose? What do you got to lose? And while y'all are thinking about what you got to lose, think about what you got to gain. Think about what you have to gain. Maybe a clear mental picture of your life. Maybe a clear idea of what's going on with your family, with your friends. Think about that shit. Maybe it'll help you. A lot of men out there, a lot of young men specifically, that are dealing with feelings of powerlessness, helplessness, that don't know where the fuck to go in their lives. Find a friend. Talk to them. Find someone that's willing to listen. Talk to them. Get that shit off your chest. It feels like a 1,000-pound weight coming off your lungs. And yeah, you might still be dealing with shit when you're done. But at least for that little bit, it'll help. And it might give you the motivation to keep finding things that help. And a lot of people, they'll turn to alcohol, they'll turn to drugs, they'll turn to whatever. Don't do that. I've seen so many people destroyed by drugs and alcohol. And don't get me wrong, I'm sitting here, I'm drinking scotch.
I was just going to say.
No.
Don't turn to that because you're depressed. Turn to that because it's in celebration.
No, this is an absolutely excellent thing.
Celebration.
Scotch is an excellent thing. It's something to be celebrated. It's something to be enjoyed with friends, with people you love. But find a friend to talk to. Find someone to talk to.
With that being
and do that.
With that being said, I want to leave this off really quick. So thank you so much for joining us for Ed Madison Podcast Project number 21. It's been great to have Greg Johnson on. It's been we should have had it sooner, but it's not his fault. It's my fault for not asking sooner too. I'm going to have him back on again. I've had a handful of guests have been on twice. Let's have him on as another one because there's a lot of shit that we didn't talk about, including guns.
Oh shit, I could talk about guns all night long.
And the funny thing is, my friends know me as I don't have like guns and stuff like in the house, but I'm totally interested in hearing about, didn't you have like record like sales and shit like that?
Oh, absolutely.
But let's not give anything away.
Rock Island Auction Company, world record holder.
We're going to talk about it next time, okay?
I am nothing but proud to work for that company.
Greg Johnson, everybody. He's a good friend. He's also a hell of a musician and a family man. I'm glad I had him with me tonight here in fucking Durant, Iowa. Ed Madison Podcast you're number 21.
Holy shit.
Almost, well, I don't want to say 2 years, but here's the deal. We'll see you next time. And I can't remember who my guest is next month because this is the last one of this month, but stay tuned. Want to give me this little send-off? This camera right here.
Talk to your friends.
Talk to your friends.
Deal with your mental health.
And you
need it.
Here's the deal. We're going to go jam now a little bit, hopefully.
Shit.
Fuck yeah.
All right.
We'll see you next time. Peace. Say goodbye.
Deuces.